play it cause the money in the way. You know how I give it up. Running up the bus. Just know one thing, I ain't never giving up. Hey. Cause I can't, dog. Gotta make amends for the past, dog. Should've been inside the game, I was slacking off. Going crazy and I cannot take the jacket off. I don't like it all. Double cup full of brown, ain't no acting raw. 6 P's, Kennedy's, catch me in the town. Cause I'm still in town. With the set shots, yeah, got the game around. I'm the truth inside the booth for the being town. See the faces of me feeling like I'm beast now. Shit, the DNA ain't saying he a mutant. Why? Killer season and I got computers do it. Been the news I see some tennis band, then I had strong influence. When I lay it down, then it's dead, I'm a shooter. Aiming for the head every time when I do it. Murder in the first, every verse I'm a shooter. That's a given. My mama Christian, and I'm a son, but baby boy is not forgiven. They should've never let me in, you niggas finished. Don't give a fuck about opinions from no niggas. I ain't never gave a fuck what them niggas say. I can't hear them playing cause the money in the way. You know how I give it up. Running up the bus. Just know one thing, I ain't never giving up. I ain't never gave a fuck what them. I can't hear them playing cause the money in the way. You know how I give it. Running up the bus. Just know one thing, I ain't never giving up. Hey. That's a given. My mama Christian. And I'm a summer baby boy is not forgiven. They should have never let me in, you niggas finished. I ain't never gave a fuck what them niggas say. I can't hear them play cause the money in the way. You know how I give it up. Running up the bus. Just know one thing, I ain't never giving up. Hey. Cause I can't, dog. Gotta make amends for the past, dog. Should've been inside the game, I was slacking off. Going crazy and I cannot take the jacket off. I don't like it all. Double cup full of brown, ain't no acting. Whoa. 6 P's, Kennedy's, catch me in the town. Cause I'm still around. With the set shots, yeah, got the game around. I'm the truth inside the booth for the being town. So the faces of me feeling like a beast now. Check the DNA, saying he a mutant. Why? Killer season and I got computers do it. Been the news I see some tennis band, then I had a strong influence. When I lay it down, then it's dead, I'm a shooter. Aiming for the head every time when I do it. Murder in the first, every verse I'm a shooter. That's a given. My mama Christian, and I'm a son, but baby boy is not forgiven. They should've never let me in, you niggas finished. Don't give a fuck about opinions from no niggas. I ain't never gave a fuck what them niggas say. I can't hear them play cause the money in the way. You know how I give it up. Running up the bus. Just know one thing, I ain't never giving up. I ain't never give a fuck what them. I can't hear them play cause the money in the way. You know how I give it up. Running up the bus. Just know one thing. What's poppin', family? Hey, hey, oh, a little shoulder work, a little shoulder work, a little, hey, give them shoulder work, just a little shoulder work, borrow a little shoulder work, just a little, hey, 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 we got the moon in Aries, Venus moving into Pisces, hope y'all using protection, cause that love vibration in the air now, set that love vibration in the air now. Got a little drinking Drake up in my hand now. And it's time to go ahead and start the live now. What's going on, family? What's going on, family? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing on this first graceful, productive, progressive week of Aquarius season? How's y'all doing? We doing all right out there, family? Are we doing all right out there? Can I get an eye shake from the congregation? Even if it ain't all right, even if it ain't all good, do we have the good faith of good God in our spirit working with us? Can we see the positive in the light times in the midst of the dark? That because that's all that really matters. That's what really matters. Yeah, because that's what really matters. That's what all the growth is. Yeah, that's where the growth is. Yeah. Where my hoes at? Yeah. Where my niggas at? Yeah. We lit. Let's get it. We lit. Let's Yo, what's going on, family? What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Y'all know me. I stay on nigga timing. I stay on Libra timing. All right. So y'all know I was gonna pull up on this motherfucker late. This motherfucker was scheduled for 5. this this John was scheduled for 5:30 p.m. today. I ain't gonna lie. Last night, y'all, I was pulling an all-nighter. So the time I set the premiere, it was like I probably did that shit like at 6, 7 a.m. And in my head, I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a nap. Then I'm gonna get up. It's gonna give me enough time, all right, to get my shit together before it's time to go live. All right. But what I do, that you be thinking that motherfucker gonna be a nap. Motherfucker turned into a real life slumber. All right. So let me just get situated, y'all. Let's get situated because we're gonna have a great dive tonight. All right. We good. Okay. So Neoma said, ain't no way that shit was that early. All right. Let's get some shout outs. Kaisha Vibe in the building. Mod Gang in the building. Faye Farmer Blackhawk in the building. Venus versus Mars in the building. Excuse me, guys. All the music that I be playing during my live streams in the beginning of these live streams, this is my bro. This is one of my bros. All right. So we getting his marketing and everything together. Okay. He a whole Virgo moon. So that nigga's a whole he a whole Libra sun, Virgo moon. So he's a whole perfectionist. We be trying to tell his super talented ass, bro, relax. What's the worst gonna happen? You gonna put some music out, somebody gonna kill you? It's like, nah, bro, I just think it needs something. You think it's good like that? You think it's good? Like, nigga, this is a hit. Don't you see the comments? This is why I love when y'all leave these comments this now, because I be having to screenshot these shits and send it to him. I'm like, if people in the live stream is vibing with it, what you think the rest of the world's good? What you think how the rest of the world gonna receive your art? All right, so we working on him. Over there. You know, you know how you Virgo placements are. You know how you Virgo moons are. Y'all think the Virgo suns be scary? Y'all Virgo moons is a whole different. This is a whole different John with y'all. It's a whole different John with y'all ass. You feel me? Getting y'all to show y'all art to the world is we pulling a leg and an arm like a mother nigga. I'm trying to watch the cuss words this first couple minutes. All right, I'm gonna let the cuss words come in a little 20 minutes, half an hour into the mother. All right. Okay, family. But once again, I hope everybody's well. All right, we're here. We're situated. Y'all can see what we got going on. We're going to get into some current energies. I want to talk about toxic alignments, all right, and synastry. And then we're going to dive right into Blueface and Chrisean Rock. All right, guys, I'm going to do my best not to be so long-winded because there is a lot of placements here. All right, there is a lot of placements between the synastry, between Chrisean Rock and Blueface, and there's a number of alignments that I have written down for y'all when it comes into potential for toxic alignments and motherfucking synastry. Look, I can't even help it. YouTube, y'all going. I'm sorry, YouTube. It is what it is. It is what it is. As long as I'm building with my family, that's all that matters. Aquarius in the building. All right. Hope you enjoy. Happy birthday to all my Aquariuses in the building. All right. Hope you guys are feeling that good old solar return energy, that good old self-development, self-evolving energy, looking at where you came from, looking at what you persevered through, because that's what the solar return gonna do to you. It's gonna make you look at where you came from. It's gonna make you look at like, damn, how was my life a year ago? This is where I'm at now. So sometimes it's a little hard dealing with solar return energies. Sometimes it's not all motherfucking peace, blessings, light, and love. Sometimes you look at yourself, you may be a little hard at yourself. You expected yourself to be in certain places in your life, but nonetheless, you need to understand, all my Aquarius sons in the building, this is a self-evolution period that you're going through, all right? So you need to be able to look in the mirror, and if there's things that you feel like you can do better, if there's things that you can feel like certain skills, expertise, knowledge, and wisdom that you have that can be applied and you can be more assertive with. This is a great time to reestablish these type of things in your life. All right. So don't try to be too hard on yourself. The sun is all up in favoring you. All right. The sun is favoring you right now. So, like I said, even though it's easy to look back and see, like, damn, this, that, and the third, this is where I should have been, this, that, and the third, it's all good to acknowledge these things, all right? But you got to take things one day at a time. And we ain't about to be down during, you ain't finna be down during your solar return season. You got to find some light during that season. You got a whole bunch of light to access in the first place, all right? Venus versus Mars, Aquarius, Angelina. What's going on, Angelina? Cess Latoya, all right? Sexy Energy, Astrology, and Tarot by Jade. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You making spirituality sexy over there. You making spirituality seductive. Even the picture, the Abby's in white and black. Got the black filter on it. That's how I know. That's how I know you cultivating some eighth house energies over there. Carly Chanel in the building. In the building. All right. All right. All right. Neoma. O Cummins 08 in the building. All right. My mods is on deck. My mods is on deck. All right. Mikey Anna Farrow, you about to make my work hours fly by. I already know how your lives be. Right. We finna dive deep. We finna dive deep. All right. Alien Moon Mom in the building. In the building. Okay. All right. All right, guys. All righty. All righty. Wait, what we saying? Congrats to Olivia for? What's going on? What's going on? What started a new job? Let's get it. Let's get it, Lipski. Let's get it, Lipski. Okay. 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 Right. I took a whole spiritual bath. I took a spiritual bath during this past new moon weekend. And shout out to my sister Hollands and Spices, guys. Y'all go on Instagram, tap into Hollands and Spices, the best apothecary I'm aware of. All right, my sister, she's putting some divine prayer into the way she's cultivating her product. So it don't matter if it's some spiritual fluids you need. It don't matter what type of spiritual tool you need. Spiritual baths. See, a lot of y'all be trying to get your ingredients together. You get in the bath. Then you got a whole bunch of shit to clean up. You got motherfucking bay leaves and rose petals all over the place. It's like, damn, ain't nobody telling me taking a spiritual bath is this goddamn messy. But listen, if you just tap in with my sisters at Hollands and Spices, right? All of that is cultivated for you. All of that is cultivated for you. Nice spiritual bath, head washes, all wrapped up in a pouch. All you got to do is soak it in some water. That's all you really got to do. All right. Whatever you need, they got it. Spiritual candle work, they got it. All right. And we're going to be doing some work in the near future. All right. So you guys, make sure y'all stay aware for that. But yeah, I took a little spiritual bath. I ain't gonna say little. I took a spiritual bath this weekend, and I was kind of taxed to start the week. When you really diving into ritual work like that, it can the detox process can be a little taxing on the physical body on top of the week starting in the Pisces moon. So I've been in nap time, rest mode to start the week. Yesterday I was doing the best to catch up on a bunch of pre-recorded readings. Okay. And I realized I've been attracting a lot of Cancer rising clients. I don't know what's going on with the Cancer risings. Almost every other reading I'm getting nowadays is a Cancer rising. All right. But we got love for you, Cancer risings. We here for y'all. Okay. But for the most part, so yeah, guys, I just hope everybody's been in a productive, progressive, fruitful, positive vibration to start the week. Okay. And let's get into these energies. Let's get right into energies. Let's get right into the funk of the live stream. All right. From the hip in the building. Family. What's going on, family? What's going on? Chiron conjunct my sun. So showing my art has been a real struggle. Yes, you got Chiron conjunct that sun. Anything dealing with self-expression gonna feel a little vulnerable. And that's part of your life path. It's part of what you got to work through in this experience. All right. Virgo moon are a lot, and I'm a Virgo sun. Right. Virgo sun be looking at the Virgo moon like, all right, I know I'm a scary nigga sometimes, but come on now. Come on now. God damn it. Mikey Anna said, not timing the cuss words. Word. I got to put a little filter on my ish. See, I caught myself there. I got to put a little filter on my ish. Boro, can you do a Chiron series? Of course. Of course. That may be, I could probably make note of that. Let me make note of that. Probably get a little live stream on that next week. Chiron through the signs houses series. It's important to know what's going on with that Chiron. Chiron is actually going to come up in our breakdown today. All right. All right, guys. So, first of all, Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aries. What degree is the moon? I think it's like around 18 degrees right now. Let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all, family. Let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all so y'all can see the stars that I'm seeing. All right. All right. Okay, guys. So go ahead and get a little refresh John in. Okay, so the moon is 18 degrees Aries right now, family. So, with the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Aries, this creates a sextile alignment. These two energies harmonize with each other, right? So, one thing that both of these energies have in common is their individuality and their ability and their urge for power, all right? Both of these signs do not deal with authority well. Both of these signs like to be in environments, relationships where they have some sense of control. That's not always a negative thing, all right? It's not always negative. This might be my toxic side coming out a little bit, but I don't think it's always negative, right? A little control in the relationship ain't gonna hurt nobody. All right. A little possessiveness ain't gonna hurt nobody. Okay. But I seen a couple of you guys from the hip. I seen a couple of you guys talking about, you want to book a reading for me to read your chart live. Like, I'm all the way down for that. I'm all the way down for that. So y'all just make sure anybody that wants to reach out for a reading, just make sure y'all leave that in the email when y'all send me a confirmation email. Let me know, hey Boro, I'm the one that wanted to have my chart read during a live stream to stand the third. I'm all the way down for that. So I'm waiting for the opportunity for that, guys. All right. I'm a Cancer rising. I was just looking at the website, right? I don't know what's going Cancer rising. I know we just got out of cap season. All right, you feeling some shifts? You feeling that pressure to get things stable in your first house in your personal life? So a little spiritual guidance is something that you guys trying to access. Ain't no problem with that. Ain't no problem with that. All right, but with the Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aries, two things. One thing they have in common is their sense for individuality. All right, two very individual signs, and you know I call this seeing where our individuality is accepted. We start with this with the moon, and this shift took place yesterday. This shift took place yesterday. The moon entered Aries yesterday. So we've already had somewhat of a day and a half or a full day to get integrated with this energy. So I'm sure a lot of you guys, whether it's your own intimate partnerships, business partnerships, communities you're a part of, or even certain circumstances with relationships inside the workplace, you guys are seeing if your individuality is received well there or not. And you guys are also realizing how your individuality is accepted by somebody you're dealing with. So two is always, guys, it's always going to be two spectrums to a placement and an alignment. I need y'all to understand that. You may want to go do, you may want to go you may want to go search up a YouTube video for a certain placement you have, and then I'm not saying I'm the best astrologer in the world, but you may have an astrologer that leans too much on the negative or the positive of an alignment. So everything in the world, we're in this third dimension, we have universal law. All right, we have the law of polarity. Every light side has a dark side. Every pro has a con. Every positive charge has a negative charge. There is no alignment in the world that is 100% negative or 100% positive. This is going to be very important to keep in mind as I go through these toxic alignments, because these same alignments can be empowering, but because of the function of the planets, there's a huge potential for these things to become toxic, manipulative. All right. So this is something I'm going to reiterate that before I get into these alignments. However, right now we're seeing where our individuality is accepted. All right. Whether you feel like your individuality is not accepted in this form of a partnership or community or the workplace environment you're in, or you're realizing like, damn, all this time my partner really been putting up with things with me that a lot of people in my past wasn't willing to compromise and negotiate and put up with me. My individuality is accepted here. All right. These are the two different spectrums we're dealing with at this time. Okay. I also call this true intentions coming to light within partnerships. True intentions coming to light within partnerships. So this may be the transit where your partner expresses something that may have been something that they've kept hidden. It may be a strong individual ideal or feeling an emotion they have about your relationship that they maybe weren't comfortable to express in the earlier stage of your relationship, but now they're feeling the courage to do that. Now, remember, Aquarius energy is ruled by Saturn, guys. So yes, it's an air sign, but Saturn still deals with reality. So whether it was your partner expressing these things to you, or you felt the need to express these things to your partner, the true influence came from the fact that this individual felt like, if I express these things and I don't suppress my individual outlook on something in this partnership, in this union, in this connection, then that's going to take away from the reality that we're trying to build and stabilize. All right. So if you're dealing with a situation where maybe around this time your partner or something is expressed to you in some type of business partnership, you have to really kind of be careful of removing your emotions and being able to see the true intention of why this person is expressing these things. Is this for the betterment of this community? Is this for the betterment of this relationship partnership? Is this just for them to get their rocks off, or is this because they feel like they need to be able to have this freedom, or they need to have their individuality thrive in this relationship? And then that'll help us to understand each other on a better level. All right, guys, this is something very important for you to understand. This is a sextile alignment. Okay, so the sun harmonizes, like I said, this is Aquarius and Aries energy harmonize with each other. So these things should be able to be expressed, communicated, and related in more of a harmonious way. And we should be in uh more of an open space to receive this energy. Also, because since Aries and Aquarius has such a huge influence on individuality, individuality is the cousin to freedom. Individuality is a if restriction is a op, restriction is a op to individuality. Most of the times when somebody feels like they're in a space and environment, partnership, relationship where they can't let their individuality thrive in some type of shape or form, this person is going to feel restricted. All right, do you want to be in a partnership where your business partner, or a friendship, or intimate relationship where your partner feels restricted? Do you want to feel restricted? So this is the give and go right here. All right, we know it ain't no relationship without communication and some sense of compromise, some sense of negotiation. The most powerful relationships understand these things. The most successful relationships understand these things. All right, let me get a little sippy sip on that. Can I get a shizazay? So guys, um that's what we got going on with the sun and the moon. Now mind you, right now the sun is currently harmonizing with Mars in a trine alignment. So this kind of emphasizes this sun in Aquarius, moon in Aries energy. Now, with the sun harmonizing with Mars, remember, the sun and Mars already have this relationship. They're already tight knitted. So when we have alignments, when we have transits where the sun and Mars are harmonizing with us, we're more encouraged to take action on our true passions, on our true feelings and emotions about things. This encourages us to not suppress how we individually feel about things. So I can see these energies playing out in a way where people feel like, yo, I don't, at this point, I'm draining myself. I'm killing myself, not letting my girl, not letting my husband or whatnot know this thing that's it's killing me, it's eating me inside. I don't want to feel restricted in this relationship or this partnership where I see so much potential in. So I might as well get this out now, because I feel like if we could just hash this, if we could just put this in the air and acknowledge these things, that'll help us build more of a stable foundation. All right. Now, some of us ain't the best with expressing shit. Some of us ain't the best with knowing how to harmoniously communicate some shit. Some of y'all be coming off too strong like a motherfucker. Put some goddamn creamer in that coffee. Don't be giving me that coffee all black. Don't be giving me that coffee all black. Goddamn, put some creamer in that motherfucker. Put some milk up in that John. Coffee almost gave me a heart attack. That black ass coffee. Coffee almost gave me a stroke. Goddamn. So yeah, so even though I'm saying what I'm saying, there's still we still a lot of us got to work on graceful ways of introducing these conversations. All right. So that's real important to understand. However, Sun trine Mars, such a powerful alignment. So this is why a lot of you guys, not only with the moon in Aries, when the moon is in Aries, it don't matter where the sun is at. It's a new sense of durability, vitality. You know, that moon in Aries transit makes you want to be proactive. It makes it feel like you ain't doing nothing with your life if you ain't being proactive about something. To be honest with you, all right. But you know, one thing about this alignment is a lot of air in it. So this is why it could be a lot of intense conversations, right? The moon is in Aries, but the sun is in Aquarius. And then when we look at the sun trining Mars, Mars is in Gemini. So this is a lot of air energy between this intensity, all right? So this is why I'm saying what I'm saying now about us being a little bit more conscious about how we deliver these messages, because we may not, it may be so we may be so unaware about how intense we're coming off. So even though what we're saying is the message may be righteous, the message may be coming from a positive, a warm heart space, but at the same time, goddamn, the way you delivered that motherfucker, now you making me feel like you're trying to possess me. Now you're making me feel like I'm not compromising, you're bullying me. All right. So keep that in mind, guys. All right. Now we got our baby girl Venus. Okay, she's 29 degrees in Aquarius. She's getting set to move into Pisces any minute now. I don't know what time. All right. But it's obviously gonna be late tonight. Venus is getting ready to enter Pisces, guys. Venus is getting ready to enter Pisces. Now, this is a very significant placement because, first of all, this is going to be the first placement that gets things warmed up for us entering Pisces season. We're at the top of Aquarius season, but we know usually we have a planet, whether it's Venus or whether it's Mercury, that starts warming up the transit for the sign ahead. So, in some type of shape or form, before the sun gets into a new sign, Venus is already there harmonizing, building a safe space, building a comfort zone, right? Finding the value in this energy, learning to appreciate this energy. So by the time the sun gets here and start being proactive with this, it's already getting the understanding from Venus why we should be taking action on these things, why it would be important for us dealing with, you know, how this and how us being proactive during that solar cycle can improve things with our relationship life, things with our own personal values, things with our self-esteem. All right. Sometimes Mercury be in that sign before the sun gets in there. So before the sun gets in there, as soon as the sun enters, Mercury already got a whole layout for the sun. Like, all right, look what's been going on. All right, so I've been in Pisces for about 2 weeks before your ass entered. Niggas is in here acting delusional. All right, motherfuckers need some stability and reality in the mix with their imagination here. However, son, I've been thinking about a whole bunch of different ways that we could be a little bit more detail oriented as how we go about pursuing things in our imagination, healing the subconscious. I think you going to therapy is a good idea. What you think about that, son? Because I be seeing the way you and the moon be beefing, and I don't know. I know I'm just a little young nigga. I know I'm only 12 years old. Mercury young as hell. Mercury the little baby. I ain't gonna say Mercury a baby. Mercury, you can't be calling Mercury a baby because that little motherfucker smart as hell. Little ass honor roll 5th grade student having head ass. Too smart for his own good. Why the hell is my 11-year-old son giving me advice on my marriage? You don't know shit. You don't know shit about relationships. Well, I do know, Dad. I do know this, that, and the third. I don't know everything, Dad, but I do. I did pick up my intuition. Did pick up on this, that, and the third. You can't say that little nigga wrong though. Some of y'all got some Virgo, Gemini siblings, kids. Some of y'all got some Virgo, or if you a Virgo or Gemini, you was this kid. You're too smart for your own good, but your parents couldn't say you was wrong though. You was too curious for your own good. Take your young ass to school, worrying about my marriage. This is not your role in the family. Motherfucker, sun, moon, go upstairs and start thinking about the shit Mercury was saying. Like, you know, I think Mercury right. I think we do need to go to. I think that little 11-year-old nigga was right. I think we do need therapy. I'm gonna go talk to his guidance counselor in school tomorrow. See what the fuck he got going. What he be saying to her. He probably complaining about us to his guidance counselor. All right. Goddamn Gemini Virgo kids, too smart
Too curious. Like I said, some of y'all, this was y'all asses. This was y'all asses. Motherfucker knew your pops was cheating on your moms. You the only one in the family that know. Then your pops find out. He like, listen, you son, you don't. Listen, your mom's still awake. Your mom. Listen, your mom's still awake. No, daddy, I know where you're coming from, daddy. Why are you doing this to mommy? Listen, you don't know about none of this. You was a kid. You need to stay in the kid's place. If I find out you told your mom nothing, I'm gonna beat your little smart ass. You're gonna have two brains. It's gonna look like you have two brains out this motherfucker the way I put a lump in your motherfucking head. You really want to be smart. You're gonna definitely make honor roll next year the way I give you another brain out this motherfucker. All right, daddy. I won't tell mommy nothing. Can I tell Mars? No, shut your. You don't tell nobody. You know Mars is impulsive and extreme. That nigga can't keep shit to himself. That nigga gonna get mad one day at me and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna tell mom. Mercury told me you was cheating. And don't tell Venus ass neither. Cause you know she deal with her self-esteem and shit. She's Venus is learning. Venus is right now, she's building her relationship morals right now. She's looking up to me and your mother thinking we a harmonious family and shit. You need your sister to think that's what the fuck going on. Cause she's not about to grow up and find a nigga like me. I don't want Venus dealing with a nigga like me. Okay, daddy. I'm gonna keep all the details and information to myself. No, you need to stay in your motherfucking room. You be too nosy. But you always said I'm smart, daddy. I can't help it. You know what? You can't help it. You can't help it. I asked God for a smart son, and this is what you gave me. A little invasive little nigga. Virgos, Gemini, sit y'all ass down and stay out of grown folks' business. Some of y'all Virgos, Geminis, y'all older now. Y'all having conversations with y'all parents. Y'all parents feel like this is the time they can start opening up to certain things about y'all. And you like, mom, dad, I already knew this. I already knew this. I already knew that's what you was using the child support money for, mom. I was going to school with holes in my shoes. I knew you was using that shit for some other bullshit. You can't listen. Y'all go ahead and try to lie to a Mercury placement you dating. You go ahead and try to keep shit hidden from a Mercury placement, from a goddamn. Don't let them have Mercury in Gemini. Don't let them have Mercury in Virgo. Don't let that. You better tell them everything, because they're gonna find out anyways. Okay, so right now, guys, you know we're getting ready for Venus to enter Pisces. All right, we're getting ready for Venus to enter Pisces, guys, and this is a see, it's so easy to look at Venus and Pisces. For one, this is her exaltation space. Tomorrow we're gonna live stream on Venus and Pisces through the houses and through the signs. All right, and you guys got to understand. We got to look at both spectrums, right? We got to look at both spectrums, like I was just saying. And when Venus gets into her exalted space, she is high. She is high. She's getting access to all the liquor she wants, to all the weed she wants, to all the sex she wants, to all the 5-star dinners she wants, to all the pleasure she wants. There is no limit on these things. There's no ceilings on these things for Venus when she's in Pisces or she's in that 12th house. For some of y'all asses that got Venus in the 12th house, Venus in Pisces, this is why your ass have an addictive personality. This is why your ass is so easy to get attached to things. If something make you feel good, if a person, place, or thing make you feel good, you start looking in the mirror like, okay, it's okay. I could go a day tomorrow without it, right? That's not so bad, right? One day without smoking, one day without sex. Like, we don't have to do it all the time, right? Y'all ass start panicking. And it don't be easy, because it's not about the fact that you're sensitive towards your pleasures. It's not about the fact that, these things, you always see the potential for these things. They're accessible. They're accessible. So it's one thing if a nigga is a whole weed head, but he broke, and his bud man not letting him, not letting him have no tab. It's like, no, bro, I'm not you because you be owing me too much money. You gonna bring me the money for the weed. I'm not letting you owe me. So it's one thing, the broke nigga, he gonna have to settle. Go get a black and mild or something. Go roll up. You gonna have to get some CBD or something. I don't know. Drink some tea. But when you got Venus and Pisces, when you got Venus in the 12th house, it's too accessible. You could be broke as hell. Somebody gonna provide it for you. You're gonna get access to it. Now, another thing about Venus being in her exaltation space, right? Venus get delusional here. Venus get delusional here. Now, one thing about Venus and Pisces, when we speak about delusion, sometimes delusion is a good thing. Sometimes delusion is a good thing. Sometimes it's great for you to have this outstanding, unwavering belief in your dreams and aspirations that seem so unrealistic. Sometimes that's the foundation to creating something magical. It's sometimes it just, I don't know. This is my theory. Sometimes delusion is good, but sometimes you got to know when to be able to put a cap on that shit. You got to be able to put a cap on that. Lovely soul in the building. Awakened Phoenix in the building. Got my favorites in the building. All right. X Super X in the building. So right now, guys, this is a great time to be delusional for your dreams. Be delusional for your aspirations. Be delusional as to what type of potential your creative attributes can manifest. Right now, when during this Venus in Pisces transit, everything that's in your subconscious, everything that's in your imagination, the things you daydream about, they feel like they're going to be right here. They feel like they're going to be right here, family. But what do we need to do? We need to align our value system with these things, right? If you see the potential of you getting in shape, then you have to align your value system with eating the right things, valuing the right forms of nutrition, the right rest, right? If you see the potential for a union, getting married with somebody you're dealing with, then you need to align your value system with the things that'll support that. Being understanding, communicative, relatable, understanding the love language of your partner, understanding their wants and needs. Don't be in a motherfucking relationship if you can't do these things. Stay your selfish ass by yourself, because it takes two. If you're a woman and you don't understand the energies of a man, and if you're a man that don't understand what makes a woman feel stable and comfortable, stay your ass by yourself until you figure it out. All right? Take a sip on that. Can I get an ashe in this mother? Okay? So the potential for our imagination is right there. We need to make sure we have a positive value system that supports these things. Venus brings support, it brings love, it brings appreciation, it brings nurture, it wants to pour into things. Are we going to be pouring into toxic, negative things while Venus and Pisces? Or are we going to be pouring into harmonious things? Are we going to be pouring into our potential? The choice is ours. And understand, because Venus is an exaltation and this is a powerful placement, you will receive what you're valuing at this moment. You will receive that. If you're too invested into negative things, this may not be a nice transit for you, especially within your love life. But if you honor and value the positive potential of what a partnership could be, then, universe and God is working in your favor. And they're always working in your favor when it comes into your intention. But when Venus and Pisces, you have to understand how much these things are stimulated. You have to understand how much things escalate with your value system. This is the time going into this transit, guys, with Venus. Ooh, that liquor is hitting me. Going into that motherfucking Venus and Pisces transit, guys, you have to understand that if you have certain and y'all know me. I'm a Libra sun, Venus and Libra. That's addictive personality off the rip. I'm a Venus in the 8th house, addictive personality off the rip in Libra. Scorpio stellium, Mars, Pluto, Mercury, and Scorpio, addictive personality. This is my life. Saturn in the 1st house. I don't speak on this for no reason. This is part of my life path, understanding detachment. So this is why I speak on these things a lot. And I don't want to make light of addiction. I don't want to make light of attachment, whether it's attachment to a substance, attachment to love, attachment to a person, attachment to whatever it is. I don't want to make light of these things, guys. Life be lifing, right? Life be lifing. However, you guys got to understand, coming into this transit, dealing with attachments, things can get a little shaky. Things can get a little turbulent. All right. Now, on the other spectrum of Venus and Pisces, yes, we have the access to, pouring into more of the potential, the positive potential of things that we have going on in our life. We have to understand Venus and Pisces has a whole lot of escapism energy all up in it. A whole lot of escapism energy. So we can run from the love right now. We can avoid these deep, intimate talks, conversations right now. We can be a little too frustrated dealing with all this heavy amount of love and emotion, and we can run from this shit. So you're going to have to catch yourself throughout these times when we do these things. And having the sun in Aquarius, when it comes to escapism, when it comes into detachment, the sun in Aquarius only supports that even more. The sun in Aquarius is going to be in your ear like, listen, you don't need all that love shit. We just need to get this money, all right? You just need to get this money, all right? That's all. That is all. Shout out to Kathina. Oh, this is not even a don't. Oh, okay, Kathina, booking a reading. Let's get that past life energy. Got that past life reading going. All right. Speaking of past life readings, I'm not just trying to market and shit right now, but shit, we about to enter Pisces energies. We about to enter Pisces season soon. We're in the middle of the winter solstice, and this season is all about the conclusion of the year. All right. So it's great to understand past life energies going into a new cycle, so you can apply the new awareness and clarity that you have dealing with karmic ties and karmic debts, right? Okay, just throwing that out there. But appreciate all the donations, guys. Appreciate the likes, guys, helping me build the community up. All right. Okay. Takes a village. It takes a village, guys. Okay. But so best believe we can either deal with any form of vulnerability that comes with building a connection and intimacy, and choosing, because it's a choice, choosing to pour into the positive potential, or we can run from it. We can run from it right now. And when you run from it, you will run from it with that thing that you're attached to, with that substance. It's an easy time for you to be like, man, fuck all the vulnerability and frustrations that come with love and the potential I see with this person. Let me get this bottle and watch motherfucking You on Netflix. Speaking of You on Netflix, goddamn. I'm in the middle of season 3, y'all. Woo! I ain't gonna lie, Joe be pulling the hose. Joe be pulling he on his 5th, 6th John in 3 seasons. I knew I saw some me in him. I knew I saw some of me in him, minus all the murdering. That nigga be quoting authors and shit. That nigga got me about to start reading some more. I'm about to start pulling up quotes on women's and shit. Walk up on the chick like, yo, blah, 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 blah. She's like, excuse me, is that Shakespeare? I mean, yeah, like, I'm not a heavy Shakespeare fan, but this one line did stick with me. That nigga Joe got me about to start reading all type of literature in this motherfucker. Motherfuckers smooth. Don't lie, Joe's smooth as hell. Joe sweet. Nigga is deranged. The nigga is crazy, but he's smooth though. Y'all gotta give him that. All right. So shit. Shout outs to Joe. That's been a really entertaining show. And I like shows that make you think, that are suspenseful. I always like to put myself in the writers and directors and producers feet when I'm watching things. So I'm always trying to predict and see what's happening next, right? How they're foreshadowing things. And they fucked me up a little bit. I thought certain things was gonna happen. They fucked me up. I'm thinking at the end of season 2, when Love and Joe, I don't want to ruin it for nobody if anybody ain't seen the show. I'm late, so I'm figuring out everybody done seen this motherfucker. But I'm figuring at the end of season 2, when Joe and Love, got married and everything. I thought this was about to be a start of a whole new happy situation. 2 crazy motherfuckers dealing with each other, but I was wrong. I was wrong. Look how quick love turned into hate. So the show is crazy. I'm ready to finish up season 3 so I can see what's it. So I'm ready and I'm all caught up when season 4 drops, which it will be dropping while Venus is in Pisces. All right. Speaking of, so them directors is smart. We're gonna drop this season while Venus is in Pisces, because you gonna feel like you really in this motherfucker with us. All right. So guys, it's very important to understand these things about Venus and Pisces. We can choose to pour into the positive potential of our relationships. We can choose to pour into our imagination in a positive way. We could choose to see the positive things dealing with our creative gifts. All right. Venus and Pisces also builds more of a divine relationship with spirituality. So this alignment can lead into some energies where you feel like solitude can support your spiritual development, but at the same time, if we're in intimate relationships, intimate partnerships, you cannot neglect communication around this time. You cannot leave your partner in a mysterious ass energy trying to figure out what's on your mind and your heart. That's one of the worst things to feel in a relationship, guys. It's one of the worst things to feel. Not Amber Imani in the building. In the building. All right. But that's one of the most frustrating things to deal with. Not knowing what's on your partner's mind. That's not knowing what's on your partner's heart. Feeling like you're stepping on toes, stepping on eggshells if you're trying to ask what's going on, and you don't know how they're gonna reply. You feel like they're gonna blow up. You feel like they're gonna be dismissive. That's the worst shit right there. That's the worst shit. So we got to be careful. We're not doing that around this time. Okay. So tomorrow we're gonna dive deeper into Venus and Pisces. All right, we're gonna go through Venus and Pisces, through the signs and through the houses. Now let's get into the featured presentation, guys. All right, let's get into the featured presentation: toxic alignments in the zodiac. All right, now, okay. So I got some disclaimers before I get into this. All right. For one, understand, guys, these alignments can be positive, right? Whether there's a conjunction, whether there's a square opposition, there's successful relationships that have these alignments. However, like I said, because of the function of these planets and the alignments that these planets can create in synastry, it just has a huge potential to lean on toxic energy. You can be dealing with somebody, you can date 2 people that both have Mars in Libra. One person can have their Mars in Libra in a more evolved positive state. One person can have their Mars in Libra in a more negative state. All right? Important to understand. We can have the same placements, but be in different frequency vibrations with these placements. I'm a Venus in the 8th house individual. You know how easy it is for me to be toxic and manipulative in a relationship? You know how easy it is for me to use communication and charm and some sense of pleasure to get my power and control in a relationship? But no, I'm more spiritually mature than that. And I don't want no motherfucking blood on my hands. I understand spirituality. I understand what I do in this lifetime is only setting up circumstances for my next life. All right. So I take that into consideration. When I was less evolved, when I was less mature, right? When I was in my adolescent stages and I was just going through the functions as a young boy, as a young man, yeah, maybe I may have felt into these characteristics. So if we're talking about toxic alignments, a lot of these alignments came from personal experiences, studying my peers that have been in toxic situations, right? My peers that I have that are women, peers that I have that are men. This comes from studying frequent alignments that I see pop up with celebrity relationships. Okay. And then we're going to cap this off with the synastry between Blueface and Chrisean, because they're just exposing to the world how toxic their shit is. But we're going to gain more clarity as to how these things develop between them because of these certain alignments. Okay. Disclaimer number 2. I just said like 4 or 5 disclaimers talking about disclaimer number 2. This is disclaimer number 10, motherfucker. Now, there's going to be certain planets that are frequent in these alignments. Those planets are going to be Pluto, Mars, and Uranus. These 3 planets are important planets to look at when you're dealing with synastry. You're dealing with somebody you see the potential in, you need to see what activity is going on with these planets. Why? Because these planets are already naturally power and controlling. That is their function. So if these planets are making contact with certain planets, they're not looking at it as a positive or negative thing. They just know I got to get control before somebody trying to control me. So these are 3 important planets to look at in synastry. Obviously, also what's affecting the sun and the moon, the luminaries, and obviously Venus. These are very important planets to look at, but Mars, Pluto, and Uranus are going to frequently come up in these breakdowns. All right. So let's get right into it. The first alignment I have, and after this, I want y'all, if you feel like you've been in a crazy, karmic, toxic situation, I want you to make note of these alignments. Go right to astrotheme.com, go right to the side tab where it says Synastry chart, plug in your information, plug in this partner's information if you have it. And you don't even need, because I'm just going over aspects. So I'm not really going to be talking about, well, when I'm talking about toxic alignments, I will be bringing up alignments with planets falling into the houses. But because Blueface and Chrisean, I don't have their birth time, I'm just solely focusing on aspects for them. But after this live stream, y'all go ahead and look at your previous relationships, and you click on that Pluto, you click on that Mars, you click on that Uranus. I bet you had one of these. I bet you had some of these alignments in that mix. All right. So yeah, there may be some alignments that I may have left off the list. In astrology, there's a million ways to do a million things. There's no set fixed way on how to do anything. Okay. But what it does is provide us clarity about what our life path is, what we're here for, what we're here to do, and what we're here to experience, and help us navigate these experiences with more wisdom. All right. So let's get right into it. The first alignment I have when it comes into toxic alignments. First of all, if you have Pluto, Uranus, or Mars squaring or opposing each other, if you have any of these 3 planets squaring or opposing each other, this relationship can have huge potential for power and control issues. Like I said, Pluto, Mars, and Uranus, they all deal with gaining power. So if you have somebody Mars opposing somebody's Uranus, now somebody's Mars, their personal intentions are clashing with the individuality of a person, Uranus. And this could create a feud. If you have somebody's Pluto squaring somebody's Mars, this can bring a high level of sexual attraction now. If you have Mars, if your Mars placements are squaring and opposing each other, if you have Mars and Pluto squaring and opposing each other, this can bring such a high level of passion and intimacy and sexual attraction. But when we think about it, isn't sex something that's used to manipulate? Isn't sex something that's used to gain power and control over somebody at times? A nigga will stay in a expired toxic relationship longer than he should because he don't know where he gonna get some of that somewhere else. A woman will stay in a relationship a little bit longer than she should because she don't feel like she may be able to experience this deep level, this deep form of intimacy with somebody else. And if we look at toxic relationships, that's usually, you don't see, like I said, coming somebody with personal experience. Toxic relationships, they don't last that long without that factor. They just don't. There's usually a extreme high level of intimacy there, and that plays out as the comfort zone, or that plays out as the pocket to keep you guys together. How are you gonna deal with toxic energies, frustrating energies with somebody, and they not putting it down on you? You ain't gonna stay in that shit that long. You not staying in that shit that long. You're gonna start cheating. You're gonna disconnect way before you leave out the shit. So usually that has a lot to do with it. When we look at Mars, Pluto, and Uranus, these are highly sexual energies. Mars deals with the root chakra. Pluto dealing with the root chakra. Uranus is intense. People with strong Uranus energies be changing people's sexual orientations. They be making people motherfucking Aquarius placements. Think I don't be knowing. Motherfucking Aquarius placements, Uranus and Scorpio generation, Uranus and Aquarius generation, Uranus conjunct the sun, conjunct the moon, conjunct Venus. Uranus conjunct Venus, people with Uranus in the 7th house, Uranus in the 8th house. That's probably the top one right there. Y'all ass be having people do things they never thought they'd do. What's going on, Duan? Got my favorite in the building. All right. So this is why it's important to kind of ease into intimacy. I ain't saying wait for marriage. I ain't waiting for it. I don't even fuck with marriage. So you tell me that. Just deuces. Go find another nigga. you already gave it up and then I gotta wait? Nah, you're wilding. You're wilding now. Now you're wilding. I don't mind building this rapport, building this connection. I'm at a point in my life I don't even feel comfortable being sexually intimate with somebody that I don't really know for real. I'm past that stage. I got that. At least I got that shit out my system. There's too much things being exchanged in that motherfucking in that experience to just be having sex with somebody and not really knowing what they doing, what their energies is at, where their mind is at, where their goals and aspirations at, where their traumas is at, what type of energies they still lingering on from their past relationships. So I'm past that right there. If you doing me, you only doing me. I tell you that right now. You only doing me. You crazy if you think I'm a niggas be out here talking about, yeah, I don't care. She can do whatever she wants. I just know when it's my turn. All right. You're gonna be feeling every time it's a turn with another nigga though. You're gonna be having all different type of shit transpiring in your life. Not knowing this, you just picking up energies of the other niggas she's fucking with right now. That's all. That's all. Okay. So having Pluto, Uranus, or Mars at any type of friction with each other, squares and oppositions off rip, this creates power and control, a huge potential for power and control issues. On the positive spectrum, it brings a lot of potential for you guys to be extremely transformative in each other's lives. But guess what? There's a lot of times where people want to connect with somebody and only one person wants to evolve and transform, and that leaves the other person feeling uncomfortable. And now this can create the power and control issues. You want to go on a certain diet, you want to have a certain regimen, hit the gym, do this, that, and the third, and your partner never been used to this. Your partner never been used to somebody trying to uplift them, trying to empower them, trying to get their potential out. And it could play out as a trauma response. Now this turns into a power control issue where the person that feels vulnerable or uncomfortable, they're doing certain things to keep that person there, even though they feel like they can't match that energy. All right. Soulful connections in the building. Rainbow Goddess 82. Sup from Brooklyn. First time tuning in. Brooklyn in the house. Brooklyn in the house. Shout out to all my New York natives in the building. All right. Bringing spirituality to the hood. All right. I think I'm the most ghetto astrologer on YouTube. I have yet to find a nigga more ghetto than me. I think the first book I write is going to be called Astrology for the Hood. That's part of my life goals. I need that book in the hood libraries. I need that in the hood public school curriculum. Bring me to speak to these little trifling motherfuckers. Bring me, because I can relate. I was in their shoes. I know how spirituality is frowned upon in the hood. Some of my homies in the hood look at me different. I was just in New York. And I'm too intuitive enough to pick up on the energy, all right? I'm the crazy nigga now in the hood. Okay? So I'm here to break that mold. I'm here to break that mold. All right, we making spirituality and motherfucking astrology popular in the hood. All right, so that's how we coming. Okay, so first off the rip, Pluto, Uranus, Mars squaring or opposing at all. Any of them three planets, you got Mars square Pluto, Mars opposite Uranus, Uranus square Pluto, Uranus opposite Mars. Any of them shits, strong influences for power and control issues. Next, Mars or Pluto falling into your 7th house or 8th house. If you're dealing with somebody and they have a Mars or Pluto that falls into your 7th house or your 8th house, you gotta look out for red flags. The minute you see a possessive red flag, you're like, all right, let me nip this shit in the bud right now. This is your only warning. I got a spiritual guidebook for shit. So I was waiting to see this shit with your Mars and falling into my 7th house, your Mars or Pluto falling into my 8th house. So you get to nip the red flags right away. And because when Mars gets into the 7th house, when you're let's say I got Cancer and Leo in my 7th house. All right. So this is why motherfucking Cancer Leo placements, they be having a different effect on me. I be having to brace myself dealing with their asses. But let's say I'm dealing with a Mars and Leo person, which they work my motherfucking nerves. My mother's a Mars and Leo, right? So this person, when it comes into my relationship ideals, they bring in their individuality in there. They're not invested into relating to my relationship ideals. They're invested in taking their individual shit and saying, no, this is how we're going to do this. All right, Boro? This is how we're going to do this. With Mars falling into your 7th house. With Pluto, because these two planets deal with transformation. Mars and Pluto deal with transformation. So if they fall into your 7th house, this person is going to be trying to change your relationship ideals. And guess what? The 7th house and the 8th house, these are two houses that have huge influences of sex and intimacy. Sometimes we just correlate this too much to like the 8th house. Sometimes we talk about the 5th house. 5th house deals with intimacy as well. But I don't know how we be neglecting the 7th house and Libras. A lot of Libras are sex addicts. A lot of people with Venus in Libra, Venus in the 7th house, Mars in the 7th house, these people be sex addicts. Some people be having Venus and Mars in the 8th house, and they don't even be like that. They may have strong passions, strong desires to accomplish things and do things in their life, but it may not be sexually related. Their desires may not be tied to sexual energies. So we have to stop just correlating the 8th house to sexual desires. It's your desires overall. Somebody can have a desire to make money. Somebody can have a desire to build a business. Somebody can have a desire to transmute energy and break trauma. Somebody can have a desire to heal. Somebody can have a desire to help. But if somebody got Venus and Mars Mars and Pluto falling into your 7th house, they're going to try to transform your relationship ideals a lot of the time. And when you put your foot down and say, yo, I'm sorry, I'm willing to compromise and negotiate, but you're not just going to bully my relationship ideals here. Because Mars and Pluto tries to do that here. They try to do that because what are their natural functions? Gaining power. But these are two planets that really struggle in the 7th house because they're not invested in relationship energies. They're invested in their own personal intentions. So when we look at that in Synastry, you can have this Mars or Pluto person being a little bit too forceful as to getting the 7th house person to conform to their intentions, to their individuality here. And this is when the Mars and Pluto falling into the 7th house person is going to have to learn it don't go your way in relationships all the time. It don't go like that. But guess what? Mars and Pluto fall into the 7th house. Mars and Pluto in the 8th. Mars and Pluto in the 8th house. Both of these placements, like I said, both of these placements, this will be somebody that will have you dickmatized or pussy whipped. Is what it is, because they're bringing so much passion. They're bringing so much passion to a relationship house, to a 8th house, 8th house is a subconscious house. So it deals with connection. And the 8th house deals with deep, intimate connection. So this is why if you have strong Scorpio placements or you have strong 8th house placements, You just because you have strong Scorpio placements and strong 8th house placements doesn't mean you a freak. It doesn't mean you a freak. This could be the most vulnerable person in the world when it comes into sex. This could be the most vulnerable, shaky, hesitant person when it comes into sex. But with these type of placements, Mars, Pluto in the 8th house, Mars in Scorpio, they're going to crave deep levels of intimacy. Sometimes that's what they feel like they need. Sometimes they feel like that's what they need to even start to sexually participate with you. So best believe Mars and Pluto falling into your 7th house, 8th house. Oh yeah, best believe sex, the intimacy, they're gonna know this too. That's the thing. Somebody with Mars and Pluto falling into your 7th house, 8th house, they're gonna know that they have that hold on you. It's not gonna be subconscious. They're gonna know this. They may be a saint when you start dating them, but once they see your reaction, once they see your eyes rolling back, once they see how your toes be curling, once they see how you're texting, once they see how you texting them, talking about what you doing, baby, you at work? Oh, can I come see you during your break real quick, please? I just need a please. You said I can't come over tonight. Let me just see you during the break, and then okay, I'll wait till the weekend to come over. Be like, sit your hot in the pants ass down. Sit your hot in the pants ass down. But if you're the house person, if you're the 7th house person, if you're the 8th house person, you may conform to it. You may be like, all right, have your way. I ain't never have nobody do me like this. I ain't never felt deep intimacy like this. Have your way. And now this is the start to some toxic shit. Because now this form of intimacy is just going to be the substitute for you guys having uh understanding conversations about the dynamics of your relationships. You're just going to be fucking it out all the time. That's it. You just now makeup sex becomes the solution for everything. And makeup sex be fire, but at the end of the day, it can't be the solution for everything. At some point, we got to sit down and have a reasonable talk about what's going on. At some point, we need to go to marriage counseling. At some point, we need to go to therapy. At some point, we need to work on having space with each other. Awaken Phoenix. Scorpio deals with psychology of mind, which is expressed through the body. Thank you for that comment. All right. Toxic sex feels so good though. It does. That's this is why I had to get a drink for this live. This is why I had to get a drink for this live stream. Because I already know that see, y'all got me sweating in here. Y'all got me reminiscing. Toxic sex is something else. Toxic sex got you doing shit you don't never do. What you want? You want a loan? How much the loan you want? I'm going to the bank tomorrow afternoon. How much? 50K? Yeah, they'll approve me for that. My shit, I got a good credit. That's it. What your kids need? You know what? This weekend, we gonna have a cookout. Cause what you did to me last night, we gonna get your kids. I don't give a fuck if the father in their life or not. Get the kids. I'm gonna get some Capri Suns. What they like? They like them little Lunchables with the one with the piece of Lunchables, right? That's what they like. All right. Get the Capri Suns, piece of Lunchables. It's just gonna be us. It's family time. Now this nigga want to be a whole stepfather. What's all that shit you was just talking to your homies last year? Like, I wish I would be a stepfather. I wish a woman would have me take care of her kids, this and the third. You put it on that man. This nigga in the cookout flipping burgers. Ron Isley playing Groove with You. Groove with You. So how y'all doing? Y'all want a burger? Y'all want a hot dog? What's up? Yeah, right. Come through. Motherfucker want to throw a cookout for the whole neighborhood. So sometimes that power of the 8th house it can do things like that. So that's Mars and Pluto falling into the 7th house, guys. All right. If you the 7th, 8th house person, you need to beware. Motherfucking flipping. This nigga got no shirt with an apron on. Like, what type of sexy chef you trying to be out this motherfucker? Put a shirt on. Like, nigga, I gotta stay ready dealing with her ass. I gotta stay ready. If she says she wants something real quick, I'm turning this grill off. All I gotta do is take off the apron, butt ass naked in the cookout, groove with you. I want. Yo. Yo. Oh shit. Oh my God. Power of the eighth house, man. It's something else. The flesh is weak, y'all. The flesh is weak. Okay? So you heard what Awakened Phoenix, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. You know, she just give you that look. Your ass flipping burgers, she give you that look. You be like, because I'll cut this shit off. There's enough burgers and hot dogs in this motherfucker already. All right? So that's what you got going on with that placement. Next, Uranus or Pluto falling into the first house, or Uranus squaring or opposing the sun. I had to put these together. Uranus or Pluto falling into the first house, or Uranus squaring or opposing the sun. Why is this important? Because you got somebody that's trying to control how somebody expresses themselves. The sun, the first house is your house. This is your selfish house. This is your personality. This is your personal aspirations. This is how you like to personally conduct yourself in correlation to the sun, your personal identity, your self-identity. So when somebody got their Uranus or Pluto falling into your first house, or they got Uranus or Pluto squaring or opposing your sun, this person during the dating phases, they hear all that shit you saying. Yeah, I like this type of relationship. I like this, that, and the third. Personally, I feel like I need space. Personally, I feel like this. That shit is a huge potential for that shit to go in one ear and out the other, because this person gonna feel like they can transform you personally. This person feel like they can change you personally. And that can get very toxic. When you go into a relationship thinking you could change a motherfucker, that shit can get toxic. Empress Kira said, I have both in my first house. Now, if you have these alignments in your first house, you have potential to be very toxic. Why? Because personally, you actually do be having this influence. You manifest a lot of situations in your life where you have been able to change the personal viewpoints of others. Anything falling into your first house is something that you see in other people personally. So if you got Venus in the first house, it's easy for you to see how somebody deals with Venus, love, and their self-esteem in their life personally. You have Mercury in the first house, it's easier for to get a grasp on how people think and communicate in the first house. So it's not just about your first house energies, it's how you also view people personally. So you got like Uranus in the first house, Pluto in the first house. You already had experiences where you kind of persuaded, you can have strong persuasion skills. It's going to be easier for you to transform people. It doesn't have to be for the negative. This can be empowering, right? So Uranus and Pluto in the first house can actually be the people that come into your life, and they help you to understand how you can bring transformation to your first house by honing in on your individuality, on your personal gifts, helping you to understand why you should be determined and intentional about using your personality or things that you possess in your first house, or the things that your sun possesses. But in the negative fashion, with somebody's Mars and Uranus and Pluto falling to the first house, it's easy for them to already feel like off the rip, I can change this person. I could change this person. You know, she said she's not down with polygamy, but I could change her. And me personally, I'm pretty much poly my damn self. That's real. My relationship ideal. This is another video post I wanted to talk about alignments that cause a lot of transformation. The alignments that would make somebody constantly have transformative relationship ideals. So I'm gonna have a post on Instagram or something about that soon. But I'm not really the monogamous type of guy. I don't want to dive too deep into that. But I make sure if I see potential in somebody I'm dealing with, I don't wait too long to let them know that shit. I let them know, like, listen, I know before things escalate, I just want to let you know these are my ideals, the standard third. I'm already used to people trying to change me and transform me, and I'm not going for that. So if this is something you feel like you can't deal with, we might as well just nip it in the bud now. But if I'm dealing with a chick and she got Uranus, and I know she got Uranus and Pluto in the first house, I have to make sure she really heard what the fuck I just said. Cause she gonna be thinking like, okay, you saying that shit now, but once I put it on you, or once I do this, that, and the third, I'm gonna be the only one you see, this, that, and the third, or whatnot. She can be thinking like this. You with Uranus and Pluto falling into my first house, and I'm not going for that. So if you're dealing with somebody with Uranus and Pluto in the first house or falling into your first house, and you start picking up on these red flags, you start picking up on the fact that you're giving your personal ideals about things, and you're seeing that they're not being so receptive towards it, or they're being a little bit what's the word? They're just being a little dismissive about it, acting like, oh, okay, that's how you think, that's cool. No, no, motherfucker, no, it ain't cool. That's what is reality. Don't be trying to just brush off my shit. If you want to deal with this shit, you're gonna deal with it. If you're not gonna deal with it, then let me know. We could be cool. We could be friends. I'm helping you. I'm giving you the chance to make a decision. I ain't forcing you to do shit. But you thinking you about to transform my personal ideals? You think you about to transform how I like to be seen or express myself or my self identity? And if you allow yourself with this alignment to go too far, just brushing that off, brushing off the fact that that person didn't align. You know, if I was to deal with somebody and I tell them that, and then they're like, I don't really think that's something I'm down with, I'm comfortable with, but I keep thinking that's not going to be a big deal. Like, eventually she's going to deal with it. Then I'm walking right into a toxic situation. Because guess what? If the intimacy is that good, now we're in a pull and grab, because we don't want to let go of the intimate connection, but we still don't agree on the relationship ideals. I still don't agree with the fact that you're trying to transform my personal ideals, and you don't agree with my personal ideals, but we fucked up and developed a strong intimate connection. Now we in some bullshit. Now we in some whole bullshit. All right? So that's Uranus or Pluto falling into the first house, or Uranus squaring or opposing the sun. Next. Now this one is deep. Chiron making contact with Venus or the moon. Chiron making contact with Venus or the moon. Now, if this alignment is in a sextile or a trine, which is a harmonious alignment, there's more potential for the Venus person to heal the Chiron person. Is there going to be more potential for the Venus person to heal the Chiron person? Now, if this alignment is in a conjunction, which conjunctions will still be a lot of potential for the Venus person to heal the Chiron person. But if it's Venus conjunct Chiron, if it's Chiron squaring or opposing Venus, this is trauma bonding energy. This is trauma bonding energy. Because what happens here? The Chiron person has certain wounds in this area of life, in which we all do, because we all have a Chiron placement. This Chiron person has a certain wound. They have a certain area of their life where they have insecurities and traumas. But this person's Venus comes around, which deals with what? Support, love, care, nurture. So now it can be very subtle, but this Venus person can start thinking that they need to drain themselves in order to participate with their wounds. And now we're trauma bonding. I need to learn how to heal your wounds. I need to learn how to be supportive and care about your wounds. But now you're finding ways to bring your Chiron trauma to my love language. You're bringing your insecurities and your project. This can bring a lot of projection energy here. So if Chiron making any contact with that Venus or that moon, because the moon also deals with reacting and responding. The moon deals with reacting and responding. So if I'm dating somebody, where's my Chiron at? No, okay, I'm a moon in Capricorn. Let's say they're their Chiron is in Libra. That's a square. So my moon is squaring their Chiron. So what happens here is this person has Chiron and Libra. They deal with a lot of misunderstandings. They may deal with turbulent situations in their relationships. And it may be hard for them to feel like they can look at the positive potential of future relationships based off of what they've been experiencing in their relationships. This person may have issues dealing with compromise, negotiating, understanding the outlook of others. Chiron and Libra may have manifested situations in their relationships. Their partners had hidden agendas. They were lied to, cheated on. But what I do as a moon in Capricorn, cause my moon is squaring. Remember, guys, squares and oppositions bring attraction. So it's not just if you have a planet that's squaring somebody else's planet, that's always going to be something that you feel like you have to work on in a relationship, whether you realize it or not. So if my moon is squaring this person's Chiron in Libra, I'm gonna naturally feel like I have to use my Capricorn energies to help them. So that would be me bringing a sense of reality to them, right? Like, yo, baby, listen, I know that happened in your past relationships, but me and you got what we got going on right now in the present. Has my actions reflected anything that you experienced in your past relationships? So the reality is that you don't have to hang your head on them past situations, because you have yet to pick up any type of red flag, potential energy, or indication that I'm gonna replay these things in your life. All right. Until I do, then you can have your concerns and then we can communicate about these things. But other than that, I'm here to help build you up in that way. I want to bring a sense of practicality, reality on how you can work on these things. I think you need to go to therapy. I'll come with you if you need me to come with you. You feel me? I'll go to therapy on my own. These are tangible things. These are earth things. These are not just in the air. No, what can we do? We can do this, that, and the third together. We can go to yoga together. We can do whatever. We go get some motherfucking acupuncture therapy, whatever the fuck it is. How can we build upon your wounds? Now, this person, the Chiron and Libra person, could be hearing all of that. They could say, yes, we could do this, that, and the third. And they can be uncomfortable feeling like they have to deal with these wounds on their own, to the point they're utilizing my energy, my resources in some type of shape or form. Now it's becoming draining. Now this person is not so much invested in self-development. This person is not so much invested in healing their traumas. They're just invested in me having to feel some of that shit they feel. And that's not the point. That's not the reason I said let's go to motherfucking therapy, woman. I don't have them issues. I got Chiron somewhere else. I got traumas in other places. I'm trying to see how I can respond to helping you build that up, helping you patch the wounds. So Chiron squaring or opposing Venus or the moon, this can become trauma bonding energy. And it could be so easy for me to fall into that shit. It could be so easy for me to start feeling like, some of their ideals with relationships, this, that, and the third. I could start feeling is my moon. So is my emotions. So them projecting their wounds on me, it can get to a point where I'm just so sensitive towards it. I'm so sensitive towards feeling what the fuck they feeling. And now I feel like I need to take some of my traumas and wounds that my moon has, or traumas and wounds that my Venus placement has, because your moon and your Venus is going to develop some fucking trauma. You're going to develop some trauma with your emotions in the relationships in your home environment. You're going to develop some trauma in your relationships. Is every relationship you ever been in perfect? Did you marry and have a successful relationship with the first person you ever dated? So no, your Venus is going to have natural insecurities, no matter what sign and house it's in. So now I start using my moon and Venus, but you know what? My moon and Venus got these traumas and insecurities too. Fuck helping you build up your wounds. Let's just bask in this shit together. All right. So that can get very problematic. So if you have Chiron, I got Chiron in Virgo. So I already know if I'm dealing with a Virgo chick off rip, I already know what potential is waiting to happen there. I'm already seeing, is she here to help my Chiron, or is she here to trauma bond with me? So the moment she start expressing things to me about, Bora, I really think you should like seek therapy, or I really think you need to start giving yourself grace about this, that, and the third. I really think you need to start looking in the mirror about certain things that you held resentment with for yourself. I already know, okay, she's on the positive side. She's on the positive side of her sun in Virgo, moon in Virgo, Venus in Virgo with my Chiron in Virgo. But the moment she starts because Chiron and Virgo deals with a lot of people dealing with situations where they have people in their life trying to give you extreme critique or opinion about what you should be working on, building, structuring in your life, your career path. And that could build a lot of frustration because it'll come from your mom, it'll come from your father, it'll come from your partner. So once she start bitching a little bit too much about what the fuck she feel like I need to be doing in career, this, and the third, she already sees that I'm overwhelmed with what the fuck I'm trying to build and navigating my career path, and you just adding more pressure to me. Now I know you falling on that negative side, and we're not about to be doing this. We're not about to be doing this. Nip that shit in the bud. Okay? So that's Chiron. I'm trying to give y'all both scenarios. Like I said, these placements can be empowering, they can be positive. Squares and oppositions are here to help each other grow. So when you're dealing with synastry, you need to know the squares and oppositions you guys have to help understand how to navigate these clashes that are going to come, because they're going to come. It helps you to navigate these clashes when they do arrive, right? But also helping you guys understand, what are we here to teach each other? So these are the most important things you need to look at in synastry. Even if you don't fucking know how to read charts, nothing, you need to know what house this person's sun falls into, because that's the purpose in your life. Their sun falls into your first house, they're here to help you see your personal potential. Their sun falls into your fifth house, they're here to uplift your life and uplift the inner child within you. Their sun falls into your ninth house, they're here to help you experience new things and teach your ass something. Their sun falls into your 10th house, they're here to bring stability into your life, whether they're sharing their resources or they're utilizing their resources, knowledge, and wisdom and their awareness in order to help you bring it out your goddamn self. Their sun falls into your fourth house. Whoo! Sun falls into the fourth house. They're here to help you see what's really in that subconscious that you don't look at all the time, your goddamn self. They help you to understand that you do develop this tendency that you have in this relationship. This shit comes from the relationship with your mom. This should come from the relationship with your father. You ain't have a real nigga like me with the sun falling to your fourth house to help you realize these things, but I'm helping you realize these things. Them other niggas that you was fucking with just wanted some ass. I'm here to see your potential grow. And you need to acknowledge these fourth house wounds, traumas, and insecurities fucking with a real nigga like me with that sun in that fourth house. So those are the two most important things to know. What house this person's sun is falling into, God, universe, what is their purpose in my life? And the squares and oppositions. Because these are all the lessons. These are all the things that I'm going to learn from this person. They're going to have to learn from me. And till the day if we get married and we die together, these are things that we're constantly going to have to work on till we're on our deathbed with each other. It's just going to be constant levels of evolution here, constant levels of understanding and graduation with our connection. But learning each other never stops. Obviously, if you marry, you 30 years old, you marry somebody that's 30 and y'all grow old together, obviously y'all gonna have a great grasp on knowing each other, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. All right, these are constant life lessons you guys are gonna constantly have to understand with each other. So that's Chiron making contact with the Venus or the moon. Now, moon square or oppose the moon square or oppose the moon. Moon square or oppose the moon. I got my moon in Capricorn, they got their moon in Aries. You got your moon in Taurus, they got their moon in Scorpio. You got your moon in Aquarius, they got their moon in Leo. The reason why this can become toxic because it takes two different environments and energies for you guys to feel emotionally comfortable. It's gonna have to take at least one person in this relationship to understand different things make us feel comfortable. If one person doesn't become the bigger person in a relationship to realize, like, okay, I'm a needy motherfucker. She likes space. She's an Aquarius moon. I'm a Pisces moon. I want to fucking cuddle all night. I want to make sure she's texting me throughout the day so I know what's up with her, this, that, and the third. But she's a moon in Aquarius, so me throwing too much emotion at her and times being too clingy, that kind of rubs her the wrong way, whether she like or love me or not. So it's gonna take at least one person to understand this. Without the understanding of this, what happens? We're trying to change each other again. I'm trying to force you to make what makes me comfortable make you comfortable. And what make me comfortable don't make you what make me comfortable doesn't align with what make you comfortable. I'm a Moon in Capricorn person. I like stability. I like structure. I like making money and seeing it stay in my account. I don't like to frivolously spend. I like to save a bit more. I like to have my bills paid on time. I like to have money in my account and resources. So just in case, if I feel like keyword moon, if I feel like building and structuring something, I have a stash spot. I have resources I can pull out of to support the things I want to build. That's what makes me comfortable. Dealing with reality. She might be a moon in motherfucking Cancer. What makes her comfortable? Emotional connection, emotional understanding. Me, me making sure that her feelings, emotions, and inner thoughts are received well. Things dealing with building a home environment, building a family, most likely, moon in Cancer. So if I'm dating somebody with a moon in Cancer and, you know, I turned 30 this year and she wants to start a family next year. And I'm like, listen, baby, I'm not where I want to be at in life to support a family. That's going to make me, if I had a child right now, that would actually make me extremely uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable. I'd be devoted to raising my child, but it'll make me so motherfucking uncomfortable. It's not funny because I'd like to be as stable as possible before I bring a child into this family, but you're not thinking about reality. You're just thinking about what you emotionally feel like you need. So at some point, we're going to have a mutual understanding. At some point, we're going to have to agree to disagree. At some point, she's going to have to compromise, and I'm going to have to compromise. Like, okay, this is the person that I love. I see potential in. I did tell her I see her as the mother of my. I did tell her that's the reason I'm investing so much into her because I see her as being a great mother to my future children. But she wants the kids next year. So at point she's gonna have to understand to be a little bit more patient dealing with the Capricorn moon because the Capricorn moon don't like being pressured, especially they don't like having emotions and your emotional well-being dumped on them. And then I'm gonna have to understand she's gonna feel either lost, confused, feel like she's in a situation that doesn't cater to her emotional needs. It feels like what's the point of being in this connection if you're not even thinking about trying to have a family? So I'm gonna have to communicate or bring understanding to that. But without the communication, without the mutual understanding, now you got two people that's trying to force their comfort zones on each other, which is never gonna get to you're never gonna be able to manifest that because you guys have two natural comfort zones. What makes me comfortable is stability. What makes you comfortable is being emotionally stable. There's Capricorn moons out here that are not emotionally stable. That they not, or let me not say emotionally stable. They're not that most in tune with their emotions. But when business is going good, when things dealing with stability is going good, oh, they the happiest nigga in the world. Then you got some Cancer moons out here that can be making the money that I want to make as a Capricorn moon, can have the stability that I want to have, but they're a Cancer moon. They may not value that as much because they're valuing either starting a family, having an intimate, deep connection with somebody, having a home environment set up the way they want to have it. It's like, damn, I have all the money in the world as a Cancer moon, but I'm sleeping by myself. I'm making 5-star dishes every night. I want to feed somebody. Fuck this money. I'll give up half of my salary to have that. You see how this plays out? So moon squaring or opposing moon, forcing each other's comfort zones on each other. This can become toxic. All right. Next, we got two more guys, and then we're gonna run right into Blueface and Chrisean's Synastry. Uranus, Mars, Pluto making contact with Jupiter. Uranus, Mars, or Pluto making contact with Jupiter. This can become toxic. Because what does Jupiter rule? Our experiences, adventures, exploration. What does Jupiter hate? Restriction, confinement, because Jupiter wants to expand. Jupiter wants to fly its wings. Jupiter wants to see what's out in the world. So when somebody comes into your life and their Mars, Pluto, or Uranus squares Jupiter, now you got somebody that kind of wants to control your experiences. You said you wanted to go to motherfucking law school, this, that, and the third, right? And they telling your ass this, they telling you like, yo, what do you really, is that the life you really want to live, this, that, and the third? Like, why, what's the point of having these aspirations? Like, I could take care of you. Like, I could just, I could take care of you, this, that, and the third. And it's like, I ain't asking for nobody to take care of me. This is my personal aspiration. I want to go to law school. I've been wanting to be an attorney my whole life. Like, that's the credentials I want to go ahead and experience and gain. But this person's Uranus, their individuality, or their Mars and Pluto, their passions and their natural personal intentions doesn't align with what you want to experience, where you want to fly your wing, where you want to fly your wings at, where you want to spread your wings at, what you want to explore and adventure. So they may create different tactics to try to manipulate what you want to experience. And if you're the Jupiter person and you allow this Mars, Pluto, or Uranus person to manipulate what you want to experience, that's going to leave a whole bunch of resentment down the line. You gas this person up to tell them that I could just take care of you, this, that, and the third. You don't got to go ahead and experience and explore, do all of that shit. Like, listen, let me just build this reality for you. Let me create this experience for you, because this is really what I personally want, Mars and Pluto. And you going to law school, you becoming an attorney, that doesn't align with what the fuck I want personally, intention, and that doesn't align with what role and position I see you playing in my life. So let me use this Mars and Pluto energy to find ways to manipulate that. Let me use this Uranus energy to find a way to get some power and control over that. And if I get you to conform to these things, now 20 years down the line, you're gonna be talking to your children, talking about, I don't know how the fuck I let your father convince me not to go to school for this, that, and the third, not to go experience this, that, and the third. I wanted to travel the world. And they told me to move in with them. And they said eventually we're gonna be able to travel. We ain't get to do that. None of that shit. I'm tired of going to Atlantic City. That nigga keeps saying that shit is a vacation. No, it's not. Get some tickets to Paris. Goddamn. Tired of Atlantic City every other weekend. That ain't no Jupiter. That ain't no exploration and adventure that I was seeking in my life. How I get myself in this situation? You allowed somebody to manipulate your experiences. Jupiter also deals with a lot of potential energy. So wherever your Jupiter is at, whatever sign Jupiter's in and whatever house Jupiter's in, these are things that you want to experience. These are things you want to explore. These are things that you're naturally studious of. So if somebody Mars, Pluto, Uranus squaring opposing any of these things, they ask gonna want to have control about what you experience. If you are the Mars and Pluto Uranus person, and your Mars, Pluto, Uranus is squaring their Jupiter, you got to allow them to spread their wings. And you got to trust that whatever wisdom and experience, because it's a square. So it's not saying that there's no solution. If you guys got to understand, if there's a square in opposition in Synastry, universe is saying there are solutions for these problems. You guys just have to work on it. You guys just have to pour into this square in opposition. So if you are the Mars square Uranus person, you're the Mars Pluto Uranus person, and you're dating somebody and you're realizing your Mars Pluto or Uranus is squaring their Jupiter. The moment they start talking about what they want to experience in their life, what they want to explore in their life, you got to trust that them dealing with them experiences is going to find ways to support your passions, your intentions, and the things that you're individually invested into. You have to have faith in that. Just like Lipsky just said, squares mean growth. All right. So it's really that simple with that one. Anything squaring opposing Jupiter in your own personal natal chart, let's say you have Jupiter square Venus, Jupiter square to Mars in your personal natal alignment. These are things that eventually the knowledge and wisdom you have, aka Jupiter, is going to have to be used to support your passions and goals, Mars. So this is somebody, they got Jupiter in Virgo, but they got Mars in Pisces. So Mars in Pisces may be real passionate about, dealing with some type of creative endeavor or dealing with something in spirituality. So the Jupiter and Virgo person is gonna have to learn, like, okay, I got Jupiter and Virgo. I am pretty knowledgeable about things dealing with wellness and health, and your mental health, and ways to deal with anxiety. Understanding what type of environment regiment helps with you know your mental health and your overall forms of wellness. I got to find ways to use this knowledge and wisdom to support the aspiration Mars has to connect to the collective in a creative or spiritual way in some type of shape or form. If not, Mars is always going to feel like it's by itself trying to do that when Jupiter has a lot of insight that it could be using to help uplift the collective in the 12th house. All right. If you have the sun or moon squaring or opposing Jupiter in your own personal natal chart, this is somebody that has knowledge and wisdom about something, and their sun and moon can use that shit a whole lot with what the fuck the sun and moon is trying to do. But you manifest a lot of damn I knew better moments. I shouldn't be in this situation because my Jupiter already has this knowledge, wisdom, and experience. So even though my sun and moon are doing two different things, I could have used this to help what my sun and moon is doing. But this is how it plays out in synastry. The Mars, Pluto, Uranus person may feel like that Jupiter experience has nothing to do. None of the wisdom or experience you're going to develop in that area is going to help my personal intention. So I might as well try to manipulate you to conform to what I want individually instead of and neglect what you want to explore and adventure in your life. And this creates nothing but resentment, especially if the Jupiter person it conforms to this. You're gonna be mad as hell talking to your kids saying you tired of going to Atlantic City 2 times a month. Your father promised me if I conform to his personal ways of doing things, he was gonna make sure we travel the world. I ain't see a pyramid yet. I ain't going to Jamaica. I'm tired of seeing motherfuckers on the water rafts and shit in Jamaica. I'm tired of seeing that shit. I was supposed to be living that. Okay? So that's Uranus, Mars, or Pluto squaring or opposing Jupiter. All right. Trying to control somebody's experiences, restricting them from spreading their wings in some type of shape or form. It ain't a harmonious relationship if you don't want the potential for your partner as much as they want to see their fucking potential blossom. All right. Shout out to What Am I? That is the question. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate it. I'm gonna repeat that, guys. This is how to self-check if you're toxic. And it's okay. Just because you're toxic doesn't mean you're not spiritually aware. Just because you're toxic doesn't mean that you're not still spiritually inclined, you're a bad person. Sometimes we're toxic and we don't fucking know. Sometimes we're toxic and we don't realize until we get into a relationship with somebody that we actually really genuinely no attachments. We actually loved them from the bottom of our heart, but it took this relationship to realize that we were toxic in our previous relationships. And this is the person to help us bring this awareness. This is the person to help us understand we brought our insecurities and our trauma from the relationships in our home environment into our relationship. We be wanting all these lovey-dovey relationships. I see single people talk about they want love all the time, but are you ready to face your trauma? Are you ready to face your subconscious? Because that's what love brings. That's what being with a twin flame brings. That's what being with a soulmate brings. That's what having a karmic relationship brings. That's the purpose. That's part of the main purpose of that type of relationship. So it's not saying we're here to create an experience. If you ask me what's the purpose of life, we're here to create an experience. If I just look at it as practical as possible, even though spirituality is not a practical thing, but it's like, okay, I'm aware that we jump into bodies to experience and we spiritually develop. So I once was a fucking frog. I once was a plant. I once was a tree. I once was a piece of bacteria in the ocean. I once was a fish. But based off of my experiences, my spirituality, my spiritual awareness grew enough for me to actually inhibit a bigger body. So if I put 1 and 2 together, I'm here to experience, aka learn, and then also use my gifts to see what I can create, how I can help the world, how I can help my family, how I can help my spiritual predecessors, my ancestors in the lives that they're living. Utilizing your creative attributes, utilizing your creative gifts brings experience because you once had something in your imagination, and when you started working things in the physical realm, you know, You started putting different ingredients together, and you started realizing, like, oh shit, I am capable of building a brand and business. I am capable of building a healthy family that doesn't reflect the negative ass traumatic family I grew up in. I am capable of persevering through this negative dark space in my life. So you utilizing creativity alone creates experience, creates knowledge and wisdom. Excuse me, creates wisdom. All right. So we're here to create an experience. So if you're dealing with somebody that you truly do love, you're going to allow them to experience what they need to go ahead and experience, and trust that that's going to only support and complement what you guys have going on. You should only be invested in being a support system for their potential, for them seeing their potential. I don't give a fuck if you're in a polygamous relationship, if you're in an open relationship, you're in a monogamous relationship, you are married, you're not married. The minute that you realize you are not as invested in their potential, that is an issue. That is an issue. All right. So boom. And then last on the list, we got the Sun conjunct Mars. Now I have a heavy asterisk next to this alignment. I have a huge bold asterisk next to this last alignment. Why? Why do I have an asterisk next to Sun conjunct Mars in Synastry? Because this energy is very powerful. This energy is so powerful, it's very hard to find the middle ground. So either the Sun person is being heavily motivated, heavily encouraged and inspired by the Mars person, and vice versa. The Mars person has these intentions, these deep passions, these goals, and the Sun person is here to shine a light, shine awareness on the fact, like those don't have to be those, because Mars is in this is an internal Mars is internal energy. The Sun is external. So, well, we kind of your intentions are internal, your passions are internal. We don't know your passions and intentions until your Sun starts taking action on these things, and then we're like, okay, for this person to be doing this, that, and the third, they must have had an intention to do this, that, and the third. Right? So yeah, Mars is internal. The Sun is the external, is the projection. So when you have Synastry, when you have Sun and Mars come together, this can be a strong power couple, because there's an everlasting sense of motivation between Mars trying to motivate the Sun to see its full potential, and the Sun always putting awareness on Mars to let Mars understand this intention, this goal, this aspiration, this sense of passion you have within yourself. It doesn't have to stay within yourself. You can use some of this sunlight and start being seen for it. You could get proactive, start taking action onto it to the point it brings transformation into your life. Ain't that what you seeking, Mars? Ain't you seeking transformation? Now, with me saying all of that, you guys should know how this plays out in a toxic way, though. The reason I had to put an asterisk here is because, like I said, it's hard to find the middle ground with this placement. It can play out extreme energies. Mars is extreme, and the Sun is an authority. So the Sun will be damned if it has his first son, bullying him. So what happens here is the Sun person, this is another placement where the Sun person can feel like the Mars placement is always trying to change them, is always trying to transform them. So you can have a Sun in Gemini person and somebody that got Mars in Gemini, right? So the Sun in Gemini person is real flexible and adaptable towards relationships, likes communicating, relating, and networking, connecting with different type of faces and places, right? The most flexible air sign, the most flexible person dealing with relationships in the zodiac, right? But then now you got Mars in Gemini person. Mars in any air sign is going to have strong ideals for what they want in relationships. Mars and air people are the ones that really have to learn. You have strong Mars energy, you have Mars and air placements. You already got to understand off rip, you're going to have to learn how to compromise and deal with negotiating in your relationships in some type of shape or form. So now this Mars and Gemini person comes with a strong ass relationship ideals, and it starts hovering around their Sun. And now they're trying to transform the Sun to pay attention to my personal intentions dealing with relationships. Give a fuck about all that shit you got going on with all them other people, this and that, third, that you've been dealing with your whole life. Come get some of this Mars in Gemini. Come reflect some of my personal intentions, and I need to see you start taking action on my intentions, or you're gonna have to pay for that shit, or we're gonna have to clash until you get it. Because Mars is not a surrender type of energy. Mars fight to the death. Mars is a warrior. So when you got these type of alignments, Mars on top of the sun, this could be a strong ass power couple, man. This could be a strong ass power couple. A lot of strong power couples. A lot of times when you see a couple that it's like an artist and a manager and they're dating each other, right? The woman is a singer, but her husband is the manager, or like relationships like that. I 9 out of 10 times their sun and Mars are harmonizing with each other. Or maybe Mars and Saturn is harmonizing with each other. That's another strong ass one. That's another very strong alignment when it comes into like business relationships, uh, intimate relationships that you guys are doing business with each other. When your Mars and Saturn is conjunct, because the Saturn person is able to bring stability and a blueprint and a map out and some structure towards the intentions you have. So it's like we might as well. These are your passions and intentions. I already understand how you can structure these things. Let's make this a business. Let's make this a thing. All right. But Sun conjunct Mars is hard to find that medium with this placement. It could be so extreme at times. The Sun person can lash out on Mars a lot. That Sun and Gemini person could say some things to that Mars and Gemini person because it could just feel like you're overwhelming me with how you're trying to control how I deal with relationships and my natural relationship ideals. I can't take it. And the way they may express themselves may come out harsh, especially a Sun and Gemini. Sun and Gemini, man, you get them mad. You don't want to hear what the fuck you don't. There's certain signs you don't want to get mad. And even if they don't mean what they said, like Sun and Geminis, they say some hurt. They could say some things that your ass gonna be thinking about in the next 7 lifetimes. Your ass wake up in a whole mother new family, new environment. You still thinking about motherfucker said that shit about my mother issues. Like motherfucker, that was 8 lifetimes ago. That's that Gemini. That's Mars. Actually, Mars and Gemini is actually worse. If we're talking about communicating harsh things, I'm just using this example for Sun conjunct Mars. It'll make the Sun person express themselves in lash out ways a lot of the time because they're gonna keep feeling that intensity and that forcefulness of that Mars energy trying to force them to act the way they want them to act. But Mars and Gemini, Mars and air signs, y'all asses. Like I said, I'm pretty much I got poly ideals. So like me dealing with a motherfucking Mars and air person, let them be Mars and Libra. Oh shit. Let it be Mars and Libra on top of my Libra stellium. And they say some shit like, motherfucker, you don't even make that much motherfucking money to have multiple girlfriends with your broke ass. I'm gonna be thinking about that shit for 10 lifetimes. No, she did not. How the fuck you gonna take care of 2-3 women? You could barely take care of your motherfucking self. Didn't you ask me for $40 last week? Grown ass man, getting out your Saturn return, you helping people with their spiritual guidance and everything. You ain't even got motherfucking $40. You can't use none of that spirituality and shit to get some money. Don't you do career readings for people? I'm gonna be thinking about that shit for 9 lifetimes. Fucking around with Mars and air, Mars and Libra, say some hurtful shit like that to me. And then thinking when Mars calmed down, they could be like, you know what? I didn't really mean what I said. It's over. You done Mars impulsively said that shit already. Think I'm gonna just erase that motherfucker? I know I asked you for $40 last week, but a nigga was going through some things. Thought you would understand. Thought you was my rock. Lying ass. You know, all that supportive shit you said, but I knew that was some bullshit. I ain't say I want 2-3 girlfriends now. I said that's what I'm working towards. I'm in my building stages. Niggas be wanting multiple girlfriends, can't pay rent. Like, nigga, who is you taking care of? Who is you taking care of? Can they come ask you for something? I mean, I ain't really got it. Then sit your ass down. You don't need multiple girls. You don't need one girlfriend right now. You don't need to be dating shit. You ain't got no bread. What's wrong with your ass? You can't even go on a date. Can't even spend $100 on a date. Motherfucking bill come out, motherfucking $200 bill for a date. Oh, God, my. Oh, my. These, 200? I ain't even ordered no entrees. All I had 2 appetizers. I ain't even ordered no entrees. You know what? I ain't tipping you niggas. Motherfucker finna be eating. To take your ass on a date, he gotta sacrifice just to take your ass on a date, a $200 date. Nigga can't spend $200 on a date. Talk about he want multiple girlfriends. Just to take your ass on the date took your ass on a date February 14th. That's Valentine's Day, right? That nigga gonna be eating peanut butter jelly till March 14th. That nigga meal prep budget out the door. Niggas gotta get their priorities right out in this motherfucker. If you can't spend $200, $150 on a fucking date, sit your ass. And I'm not saying you gotta be spending that much money, but if that shit hurts you, like, oh shit, I don't know. Your ass thinking about like, is she gonna chip in? Should I ask her? No, that's gonna make me look like less of a man. I can't do that. All right, let me see if I could use my. Do I still remember my mom's credit card number? I think I saved that shit a couple months ago. Sit your ass down, broke ass. Shouldn't be dating shit but your goals, but your job, but your career. All right. So, guys, those are toxic alignments. I want y'all to do y'all research. I want y'all to go ahead, go through your past relationships that you believe were toxic or extra karmic, right? Or had a lot of friction towards it. It had a lot of intimacy. The intimacy was high. You still think about how they put it on your ass to this day. But it was hard for y'all to get that shit together. There was some possessiveness. There was some power and control issues. There was some manipulation. If your ass was the manipulative one, I know I've used sex to keep a motherfucker in the same. I ain't gonna lie, but they was doing it too, though. We was doing it to each other. I was putting it on them. They was putting it on me. I used to think I was the one with the upper hand until I started sending them texts. What you doing at work, babe? When your lunchtime? Then I realized I was the one losing. Once I started sending them texts, what you doing? You at lunch? What time your lunch break? You taking lunch late today? At 1? Okay. All right. What you say? How long you say your lunch break is? An hour? A half an hour? Okay, I could do that. I could do a half an hour. I can make that work. Then you know it's some shit. You're losing. You lost. She got you. She got you. Whoever sends the lunch break text first is the one losing. Motherfucker come back into work happy as hell. Like shit. What y'all want to do? Y'all want to clean the walk-in? I'm about to go clean the grill. What y'all gonna do? You know what? It's a little messy under the stove. Let me just hand me that Brillo pad. It's like, what the fuck? What just happened to you in the lunch break? Like, ain't shit. This place is a little spotty in here. That's all. That's all. Shit. How long this restaurant been using this grill? You know what? Let me go on Amazon and see if I could use my life savings to buy a new grill for the restaurant. Like, since when you wanna nigga, you are an employee talking about buying a new grill for the restaurant. Nigga, 7 paychecks put together don't add up to getting a new grill in this motherfucker. Nigga come back into work happy as hell. It's that toxic shit. She put it on you. She put it on you. All right. So, guys, y'all go ahead and look at these toxic alignments. Do your research. Do your homework. Email me. Let me know. Email me because this is intense research right here, guys. My personal relationships, my personal peers, the peers in my life, right? The women I know, men I know, and on top of research dealing with a lot of toxic relationships that have been exposed to us from celebrities from the outside looking in. From from the outside looking in. All right. So I love feedback from y'all asses. Okay. All right, guys. 1 minute water break. 1 minute water break. I'll be right back. Y'all know I got a lot of liquor in my system, and we're gonna dive right into Blueface and Chrisean rock crazy motherfucking asses.
my text away, I'm my own shines. The sometimes it's the right times. No need to sleep, I want you in my sheets. Come through for some time. She replied, LOL, you fucking. You only hit me up cause you wanna do something. You the one I want. It's the same fucking. Swing through for a little love, baby. Cause this bed feels lonely. I got a spot for you if you want it. She hit me back like, oh, you are a vibe, babes. I would never lie to you, no. You should come and see. I can see you laying right next to me. Your body right here, not in my dreams. So tell me what it's gonna be. Cause baby, I need it. I want it. My body is calling. I wanna taste you. Just a portion. Don't leave me lonely till the morning. Baby, I need it. Let me hold you when I'm in it. Tell me I own it. We can go on and on and on. We can go on and on and on. You made me feel different, it be so real. I usually never say this cause my heart feels like an ice box. You hit the right spot, I felt that. Now let me get a favor right back. She like the wrestler in the dark when I'm Bret Hart, HBK or KD with the jump shot. She get wet like the net when the ball drop. She all that red letters on the backdrop. I look in mine like the God of the world. If it all is today, promise you would be my girl. Destruction everywhere while I stare into your eyes. If I die inside your arm, I follow my demise. No lie, girl, that's a simple vibe I'm on. So you ain't gotta ask whose side I'm on. So Jordy, when you come and ride along, baby, we can set this vibe I'm on. Cause baby, I need it, I want it, my body is calling. I wanna taste you, just a portion. Don't leave me lonely till the morning. Baby, I need it, let me hold you when I'm in it. Tell me I own it. We can go on and on and on. We can go on and on and on. I won't let you go. Won't you let me know? Cause I need you right now, girl. I do anything. I'll do what you say. Just tell me what to do, girl. No, I won't let you go. Won't you let me know? I need you right now, girl. And I do anything. I'll do what you say. Just tell me what to do, girl. Cause baby, I need it. I want it. My body is calling. I wanna taste you. Just a portion. Don't leave me lonely till the morning. Baby, I need it. Let me hold you when I'm in it. Tell me I own it. We can go on and on and on. We can go on and on and on.
All right, guys. All right, family. All right. Okay, it's time to get into Blueface and Chrisean crazy ass. Okay. Yeah, I can't drop no links yet. I can't. This all exclusive, y'all. This all exclusive. It'll be out soon. It'll be out soon, and y'all know. Y'all know where to access it. I'm just giving y'all the preview to the tunes. All right. Yes, yes, Olivia. I did use soap. Yes, I did. I'm all moisturized. I told you I ain't a dirty Libra. You got these messy air signs out here. You think I don't know about y'all asses? Got the messy Libras. I was dealing with this Libra. I don't want to air her out. She don't watch my shit. I was dealing with a chick that had the same birthday as me. She a Libra sun. She a Libra Scorpio sun cusp, just like me. Hair laid, skin clear, ass fat, dress appearance always to the point, always to the T. I used to work at this one job. I used to work in a restaurant a few ago. I was like, when I was like 25, used to work in this restaurant. I had to pick my ass up from work one time. I was like, ain't no way. Why your car is so, it was shit all over the fucking car. Liquor bottles here. I know you like to drink, but you ever heard of a garbage can? Your car can't be the disposal for this motherfucker. Got the messy Libras out there. They gonna show up to the party and exude that Venetian energy. House be toe up from the flow up though. It's scattered air signs. All right, guys. Let's get into these crazy motherfuckers. Okay. All right. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay, guys. So, I've been wanting to cover Blueface and Chrisean rock Synastry for a minute now, and I just kept sleeping on it. But then, wait, first of all, Insomnia Blues, appreciate the Cash App. Appreciate the super chat, Insomnia Blues. Your reading was the last reading I was working on before I took a nap. I was in the middle of your reading, and I was like, nah, I need to regenerate. I hate to do readings in not 100%. So as soon as I'm gonna have that to you as soon as possible. All right. I woke up today, had to start getting things ready for the live, had to put a little food in my stomach. All right. And but I got you, Salma. All right. So yeah, I've been wanting to cover Blueface and Chrisean Rock for a little minute. But then once I seen the whole shit with her being pregnant and Blueface saying that's not his baby, this, that, and the third, I said, all right, I gotta get into this shit. So I went through their Synastry and I found a number of alignments that is why they're in the mess that they're in. Okay. So first, I gotta throw you a wrench too, Awaken Phoenix. But so first we got on the list Blueface Sun squares Chrisean Mars. So Blueface he's a Capricorn Aquarius Sun cusp, 0 degrees Aquarius, right? And where's Chrisean Mars? In motherfucking Aries. Okay. So Sun square Mars. Now, Blueface, his natural awareness, his actions, he's proactive towards business, gaining stability, whether he's utilizing music, whether he's utilizing his star power, his celebrity, whether he's utilizing even if you see with him and Chrisean Rock, they have a reality TV show. So that nigga will use any form of relationship to gain some stability in some type of shape or form. But where is Chrisean's Mars at? Mars in motherfucking Aries. If you know anything about them, if you've been paying attention to anything dealing with Mars and Chrisean and Blueface, you shouldn't be surprised that she has Mars in Aries. Do you see how aggressive she is? Thank you to Martian Empress. Y'all make sure y'all tap into the Martian Empress. All right, giving out some divine readings out there. She also has a lovely lingerie brand. All right. With all that Scorpio energy she got over there. So y'all tap in, ladies. Y'all tap. She gonna get shot. For a brother like me, I like when you put it together with the lingerie, this, and the third. I like watching my woman move around in circles before I start touching her. I like to admire the beauty. So if that's what you like to do for your man, you're gonna tap in with the Martian Empress, all right? But just like she said that they became business partners first. And I'm glad you said that because there's an alignment that I have in this list that reflects that. But when we look at Chrisean alone having that Mars and Aries, aggressive ass. So aggressive. God damn. Now, you can easily see how this square plays out. Watch their interviews. Watch how when Blueface is using his son to express himself, an interviewer will ask Blueface a question. Not Chrisean. An interviewer will ask Blueface a question. He's using his son to express his ideals, his awareness, to answer the question, what does Chrisean Mars do? Let me get mine in. Let me interrupt. Let me aggressively get mine in. Let me not let this nigga finish a sentence. Like, if you don't sit your Mars and Aries ass down, if you don't, I already told y'all Mars and Aries, that Mars and Aries placements, they don't run from no fucking confrontation. Ain't no Aries Sun Moon Risings running from no confrontation. You got them scary Aries out there, but they're scary to a certain degree. You still don't want to push them, because even if you're dealing with an Aries that don't really like to fight, that don't like to go to war, it's their natural instinct to defend themselves when they're in vulnerable situations. They're not going to allow themselves to get taken advantage of. So you are doing yourself a disservice trying to bully a Aries person, especially a Mars and Aries person, because when they do retaliate, they're going to kill you. They're going to seriously hurt you. They're going to do something that they didn't know that they were even capable of. You know? I mean, they may know they were capable of it because they may have usually when you have strong Aries placements, when you have Mars and Aries, you're most likely going to deal with anger management issues in some type of shape or form. A lot of people with Aries placements, Mars and Aries, they can black out. They could get to points where all they see is red. And then they wake up in the hospital and they're like, what happened? Well, what happened? Why am I laying in this hospital bed? Why am I handcuffed to the hospital bed? Oh, you killed your husband after he told you he was cheating on you. So you can see Mars and Aries all over her. But because it squares Blueface Sun, this is why if you watch any interviews with them together, any videos with them together, look how he struggles to express himself in the same environment with her. Look how he struggles to let his son be seen or her Mars steals the show. Her Mars ends up stealing the show, either interrupting his expression, trying to restrict his expression. There's mad times I've seen in interviews, he expressed something. She's like, no, don't fucking say that. No, why you telling all these people that this, that, and the third, making me seem like this, that, and the third? The nigga can't even finish sentences around her. So when you have Mars squaring somebody's sun, their intention, they're passionate about things. They sometimes they try to override your expression. You know? So they got that one off rip. That type of alignment, she needs to learn how to be a support system. She needs to learn how to use her Mars to encourage the things his son is trying to build, not override it. All right. So that's the first one. I'm like, okay, that one was easy. Then, just like I told y'all, one of the alignments that we had in talking about toxic alignments, Blueface. Wait, who's the inner chart? Blueface. Blueface, Pluto in Sagittarius squares Chrisean's Venus in Pisces. Pluto square Venus. Power control issues with your values. But like I told y'all, this type of alignment brings extreme influences of intimacy. All right. They got a whole fucking sex tape out. All right. So I already know they just fucking each other's brains out. You like I said, you don't maintain this type of toxic situation without the level of intimacy at least matching that shit. All right. So Blueface got his Pluto over here. These are not their houses because I don't have none of their birth times. So we're just dealing with aspects. But Blueface got this motherfucking Pluto in Sagittarius, right? So he's always gonna have transformative ideals on things dealing with his spirituality, his belief system, what he wants to experience and explore in his lifetime, right? And he also can be very intense with his belief system and his ideals. She's also they're only 3 years apart, right? So he's only 3 she's 3 years older. No, he's 3 years older than her, right? But when you got, like I said, when you got that Pluto square Venus, you got the Pluto person trying to gain power and control over your love language, over your values. And you can see this as well too. You can see that Chrisean Rock got Venus in motherfucking Pisces, which we're gonna be talking about tomorrow. All right, Venus in Pisces. Christina Johnson said the sex tape was weak as hell. And you can see what was all the things I was saying. What were all the things I was saying about Venus and Pisces energy? They don't see no limits and restrictions with their love. So you have to think about Venus and Pisces when they're dealing with a situation where they may feel like their outlooks on what they want with their intimacy, with their relationships, with how they deal with love gets restricted. It can start getting a little turbulent. They can start acting a little delusional. They can start doing a lot of chaotic things because their Venus is in the 12 is in Pisces. So Pisces is going to give you endless potential and outlooks and different ways to do things to manipulate the love. Venus and Pisces people can be very possessive, but their possessiveness is not going to be aggressive. you know their possessiveness is going to be trying to shower you in pleasure in some type of shape or form to keep you where you're at. But Blueface got Pluto, so if anything, he's the one thinking he can change her love language. He thinks like all these alignments, we can see these things with them. This nigga really thinks he stays in that situation with her because he thinks with his Pluto on top squaring her Venus, a part of him thinks he can transform how her love language is set. She got Venus in Pisces, so she may be having these high expectations of what he should be producing in a relationship. And he be thinking like, yeah, whatever. Eventually, I'm gonna transform your beliefs on love, Sagittarius. I'm gonna transform, your overall outlook on what you're trying to experience with love. And that keeps you in a toxic space with lack of understanding. So they gotta get that shit together. Then we have Blueface Venus square Chrisean. These niggas is toxic. They got Blueface Venus. All right. Where's his Venus at? Blueface got Venus in Capricorn squaring Blueface Venus squaring Chrisean's moon. Excuse me, opposing. Opposing. So this was another alignment on the list. We got Blueface Venus over here in Capricorn. So what energies is going to be influenced with his love language with Venus in Capricorn? Somebody he can build with, somebody he can stabilize with, somebody he sees potential and stability with, somebody that when he's fucked up, he can ask for resources with this person. He don't want a rocky love. He don't want rocky relationships. He wants a stable relationship. But where's Chrisean's moon? She's a Cancer moon. So you got to already look at it, guys. She got the moon in, just looking at her chart individually, she got the moon in fucking Cancer and Mars in Aries. She already has a lot of emotional conflict. Mars square Aries, her Mars in Aries is squaring her moon in Cancer. That is extreme anger management issues. You got to remember, guys, Cancer energy doesn't like Mars energy. Mars is debilitated in Cancer, and Cancer and Aries square each other. So Cancer is about nurturing, connection, understanding. Mars is about individuality. Those things don't clash. You can't have a strong ass extreme sense of individuality and think you're going to build a harmonious connection with somebody. You feel me? And you're right, Velanita. You're right, Velanita. They do find ways to profit off of their bullshit. They do find ways to profit off of their bullshit. So a lot of these alignments gonna show you that. But if you just look at Chrisean Rock, she has that, once again, that Mars in Aries. So she has a strong personal intention and a strong aggressive way approach towards things that she's passionate about, right? This could play out positive. This is a very strong alignment. I love Mars in Aries personally. I don't know if I could date you motherfuckers, but I love it. I love it for yeah, I'm Mars and I'm a Mars. Well, I was about to say I'm a Venus in Libra, but I mean I was about to say I'm a Mars in Scorpio, which that's Mars in its home placement as well. But I'm a Venus in Libra. So me having a lot of Libra energy and a lot of in my Venus and Libra placement, I can be extremely passive at times in order to make the community, the group, the relationship flow a bit more. All right, just from that aspect. But when it comes into dealing with Mars and Aries energy, sometimes I'll be looking at Mars and Aries people, I'll be like, damn, If I took initiative like that, if I just said I don't give a fuck about shit like that, didn't care about what other people think, this, that, there, didn't compare myself to other people like that, I'd be better off in life. Mars and Aries don't give a fuck, but this is what she's personally dealing with. She got her moon in Cancer, very sensitive to all people, places, feelings, and things in her life. But her Mars is in Aries. So when she wants to nurture, when she wants to build connection, she has to learn how to regulate her Mars. She has to make sure that her intentions and her personal passions doesn't disrupt the natural harmonious connection she's trying to build. And that's not easy to do. This alignment, when you have, it don't matter what, it could have been any planet in Cancer and Aries squaring each other, it still can bring anger management issues. But the fact that it's the moon in Cancer, very sensitive towards reacting towards how they feel with the emotions, and then Mars and Aries, passionate about their personal intentions. This person, don't matter who she's in a relationship with. The people that dated Chrisean Rock in the past, they already look. Them niggas is looking at Blueface like, "Yup, I'm glad I ain't dealing with that shit no more." With her uncompromising ass, with her trying to force a motherfucker to feel the way that she feels about shit all the time. And these are two of the most violent fucking signs. Aries is combative. Cancer can be very violent. 50 Cent is a Cancer son. There's this guy. Fuck is this nigga name? Fuck. I forgot his name. It's like one of 50 Cent's notorious ops before he really blew up. A nigga that he was beefing with in the, how I'm forgetting this nigga name. But it's a nigga that 50 Cent was beefing with. When you watch the movie Get Rich or Die Trying, showing 50 Cent soundtrack, and 50 was beefing with them niggas in the street. The niggas he was beefing with in the movie were supposed to represent this person he was really beefing with in the streets. And then the nigga that same nigga, one of 50 Cent's enemies, ended up saying in an interview, like, yeah, 50 was on his street shit, but it wasn't really no, like, I want to say the nigga was just packing a lot of gats and shooting niggas. That he was just beating niggas up, like he was a bully, like he was some brolic ass nigga, and he was punching niggas in their face. He was knocking niggas out. Cancer energy is violent, y'all. What do I think Joe's sign is? Joe, he's giving me, I don't know so much about the sun, but he's giving me Gemini moon, Scorpio moon vibes. Cause the nigga be like, the nigga sneaking into his crush's houses and investigating. Like, he has strong investigator energy. So like, but he's very articulate though. So I see like a Gemini Joe giving me Gemini Sun, Scorpio Moon, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Scorpio Sun, or Gemini Sun, Scorpio Moon. He's giving me them alignments. Very articulate, knows how to communicate, but he's adaptable. You notice how adaptable Joe is, right? So Joe could be on his murdering shit, or he could be around Love's best friends and other people, and still know how to adapt and relate to him, but he still knows how to stay hidden. He know how to keep his personality hidden, his true intentions hidden. It's giving air and some type of air placement with a Scorpio placement. To be honest with you, all right. But so yeah, Cancer energy is very violent. She may have never got counsel or some type of support for her aggressive ass energies. You easily see that she's dealing with a bunch of anger management issues. So yeah, that moon in Cancer, Mars in Aries, you gonna have a aggressive, violent ass person, and hopefully they understand that about themselves. I've dated somebody that, with strong Aries placements. With, like, one of my first girlfriends ever in, like, middle school was an Aries sun, and she used to have some crazy ass anger management issues. But even at that young age, we were like in 7th grade, 8th grade dating, and she would express like, yeah, when I was even younger, it used to be worse. I used to black out a lot, this, that, and the third. And this is why she would consciously not put herself in positions to even for that energy to come out, because she know it's something that's inside of her. Chrisean Rock has no regard for that shit. That the girl I'm talking about, she's a Taurus moon. So at least the moon is not is right next door to the sun. It's not clashing with it. Chrisean has her moon clashing. Her moon, if you have anything squaring or opposing your moon is something in this lifetime, you have to learn how to understand, connect to more, and you have to learn how to react to this energy wisely. So moon opposing or squaring Mars people, these people can be they can be extremely impulsive. They can allow their frustrations to dictate their reactions to things. So when we look at what's the placement? Blueface's Venus square, Blueface Venus in Capricorn opposing Chrisean's Rock's moon. Chrisean could give a damn about what type of forms of stability. You got to understand, guys. This is another thing you got to understand. Capricorn kind of deals with celebrity type of energy because it deals with professional energy, it deals with social status, it deals with branding and business. Chrisean's emotions making Blueface's reputation, his status look crazy right now. The nigga is a Crip rapper. He's a gang member rapper. But now he's known for his girlfriend beating him up. Her emotions and emotional responses is making his value of Venus, Capricorn, his value of his status deteriorate. If Blueface come out with a fucking gangster ass song right now about doing this, that, and the third, killing niggas, shooting niggas, we were like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Your girlfriend be beating your ass. Shoot her. Shoot her. You feel me? And Martian Empress said he's not no saint. He be beating her too. But I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry, but try not to be toxic saying this, guys, but ain't a woman, if you see me in a physical altercation with a woman, it ain't gonna look like a struggle. I ain't gonna be struggling with her ass. I am a whole man. No, I'm not. You're not gonna see me in a tussle. This nigga be tussling with her. She be having the upper hand on this nigga sometimes. I be like, Blueface, you can't just hold her and restrain her ass. Goddamn. So that Mars, that Mars in Aries, moon in Cancer ain't no fucking joke. It ain't no joke. She got a different type of inner strength. I know the first couple of times they got into a physical altercation, that nigga was like, goddamn. You strong, ain't you? Right after the makeup sex, I ain't gonna lie. Don't punch me in my motherfucking face like that again. That motherfucker hurt. Took me long as hell to get you in that motherfucking headlock. Nigga, she a moon and Cancer, she a Mars and Aries. She's not going down without a fight. She's not going down without no motherfucking fight. So yes, they both being toxic, they both putting their hands on each other. I just feel like, the minute as a man, speaking from a man's perspective, that's been in toxic relationships. I ain't gonna say relationships, it really was just one. But it's like the moment that you're in a situation where you ended up putting your hands on your woman, whether it's you hit her or you were trying to restrain her, that's the moment you leave. That's the moment you get the fuck out of that. All right. But some niggas get charged up from that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes, oh my God, this is so toxic. I'm the wrong nigga to be talking about this shit. I need to go get another one of my colleagues to give him this information and do this live. You can't have a partially toxic nigga trying to teach about toxicity. It's something about them toxic fights that bring you together. After we beat each other's ass, have some makeup sex, and then eat some food, eat dinner, and watch Netflix and go to sleep. It's something that makes the sleep easier. Oh my God, this is so toxic. Now, but all jokes aside, guys, all jokes aside, the minute you get into any fucking form of physical altercation, that's when the fuck you need to get out this shit, no matter how you feel like it transpires into the sex, into the intimacy, because it does that. I don't know the dynamic to it. I don't know the psychology to it. But getting into a physical altercation with your partner, and then moments after that, y'all found a way to end the night harmoniously. I can't even say harmoniously, but y'all were able to cuddle and go to sleep that night, I feel like there's it's something. It's I need to add a therapist to this show, to this live stream. I feel like it's a dynamic to it where it makes you feel like, damn, this person is that passionate about me. We were able, or and a part of you may also think like, damn, we went through all of this. It ain't nothing we can't overcome. We just beat each other asses, but we made love, and now we're sleeping cuddling. Can't nothing break us up after that. So I really believe it's some of those type of dynamics that play into it. Why people will really stay in situations where it's physical altercations going on. But I've been there, done that. The minute I even catch the urge, if a woman even swings on me, I'm gonna take her fucking weave out, throw that shit out the window, and I'm out of here. I can't hit your ass, but I gotta do something. I gotta do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be, yeah, you ain't just gonna hit me and I just leave. I'm throwing something out the window. I'm fucking your makeup up. No, we gotta get even before I get the fuck out of here. This the toxic part of my ass. I'm ripping up your drawers, Victoria. Where your expensive drawers at? I'm ripping these bitches up. Where the yoga mats at? I'm fucking all that shit up before I bounce. Fuck all this spiritual righteous shit I'm talking about right now. We got to get even before I leave. You're gonna have me thinking it's gonna be weeks from now. I'm in the crib like, nah, hell no. I let her put her hands on me. She broke my fucking Xbox and my flat screen, and I ain't do shit. I just left. That was that the spiritually. This is me talking myself in my head. So I'm spiritually righteous because of that. No, I'm a pussy. That's what the fuck I am. She ain't feel my. She need to feel my wrath before I leave this motherfucker. So you gonna feel something. I don't know what it is. Your wigs is going. Your wigs is going up in the air. Something's happening. I'm gonna pee on the motherfuckers or something. I'm flushing all your fucking lipsticks down the toilet. I don't give a fuck. You ain't just. We gotta get even before I leave this motherfucker. You just put my hands on me and I just leave gracefully. For all my fellas in the chat, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, guys. The minute she put her hands on you one time and you let it rock, it don't matter how you resolve that situation. If you stayed, she gonna think she could do it again. Ladies, I know this is a sensitive subject, but you know, sometimes I know a lot of women feel like they don't have nowhere that they don't have nobody that they could go to with these situations. This, that, and the third. A nigga put his hands on you. You call your motherfucking father. You call your fucking big brother. You get some niggas from the block, or you just get the fuck out of that situation because there's no reason why a nigga with his fucking man strength should be putting his fucking hands on you. All right, so it goes both ways. Oh, come and said I need to get a safe word. So that's this real shit, y'all. All jokes aside, y'all, we're adults here. We could speak like adults. This is real shit. All right. As many of us, I don't. Y'all know me. I like to add some humor into the situation, but then again, a lot of us have experienced certain things like that, and it has built some trauma. It is affecting how we deal with relationships today. So it's really not nothing to make light of. All right. But this is important for us to understand. It's important for us to understand the minute that shit happens. And the crazy thing about it is when things like that transpire, when you get into physical altercations, that shit wasn't something that just started then and there. There was already a extreme tension that led to that. You just don't get into physical altercations with your partner out of nowhere. No, there's always a build up towards these things. So when that build up is leading up and nobody wants to embrace the role of being a bigger person, saying, let's hash this out, let's communicate about this. Let me do this for her to kind of bring her emotions down so this don't transpire to something else. When we just playing the subliminal game, we're not talking to each other. We're making each other more frustrated because we're hiding our true thoughts and emotions, making the other person have to guess this, that, and the third. That's when all that dumb shit leads up to some dumb shit. All right. So but like I said, hold on, guys. Okay. Like I said, Blueface values his status. And this is another toxic thing because in toxic relationships, you'll take advantage of the things that you know this person values. So with Blueface valuing his status, his prestige, his sense of stability, his celebrity, how he's known in the world as a Venus in Capricorn, also being a motherfucking sun cusp. He has a whole capstellium. He got Mercury in Capricorn. He got Venus in Capricorn. He got Sun in Capricorn. His status means everything to him. She got Moon in Cancer, so sometimes she will know consciously that the way she talks to this nigga, she will know the way she talks to this nigga in live interviews, on podcast. I know I'm making his status look crazy, and I'm doing it because that nigga gonna have to conform to how I really feel about things. We had an argument on our way to this. We had an argument last night, and we had an argument. Uh, 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 right, like Awakened Phoenix said. No, we not talking about good choking and spanking. There's healthy choking and spanking, y'all. But I got liquor in my system, and it's about to be midnight, so y'all not about to bring me to the eighth house right now. But with her moon in Cancer, it's easy for her to be like, fuck that. If I don't feel emotionally comfortable, I'm attacking his status. I'm making him look bad. Cause I know that's what he value. Sometimes she feel like that nigga value that shit more than he value my emotions. So this is part of the lash out. So that's big there. All right. Blueface, motherfucking Venus and Capricorn opposing her moon in Cancer. Then, and mind you, they're both Cancer moons. So this is part of the reason why they trauma bond. This is part of the reason why they trauma bond. They're both Cancer moons. So they find a comfort zone within the chaos with each other. What happens when both parties have Pluto, Mars, and Saturn in Libra? He got abusive with me and I ended it at. So you guys, now when we look at conjunctions, you guys had your Pluto on top of each other, your Mars on top of each other. So I already know the intimacy was out of this world. But you got to understand, when we look at conjunctions, guys, these are two planets playing out as the same. These are two planets sharing the same space. And when you're sharing the same space, it can get overwhelming. It could feel like there ain't that much shoulder room in this motherfucker. And out of all the planets you guys had in the same space, is Pluto and Mars. Pluto and Mars in Libra generation, you guys experience turbulent relationships a lot of the time. A lot of your life path being the Pluto and Mars generation, let me say Pluto in Libra generation, because Mars is not a generational placement, but Pluto in Libra generation, a lot of you guys experience turbulent things in your relationships. And it's not just intimate relationships. You experience people trying to take advantage of you in business partnerships. You can manifest tendencies to take advantage of people, utilize their resources and what they bring to the table for your own personal benefit. So, like I said, when Pluto and Mars is touching them air energies, guys, those are not air type energies. Those are not air type energies. Those are energies you want to have in firehouses. Those are energies you want to have, in water houses, helping you. Well, not so much Mars in Cancer, Mars in the fourth house, but Mars in like the eighth house, Mars in like the 12th house, because this is somebody that's going to be able to, transmute their own shadow, look at their shadow and bring transformation to these things, right? But both of you guys had too much intensity on top of each other. And then on top of that, you guys are both part of the Saturn and Libra generation. That's an exaltation. So Saturn and Libra generation people, you guys are very calculated, practical, realistic with how you adjust relationships in your life. You guys are really good at detaching from parties that you don't need to be connected to, and you guys are gifted. Keyword, you guys are gift. Saturn in Libra, Saturn in the seventh house is gifted with being able to see the potential that can be built in a relationship, seeing how some resources or knowledge, wisdom, experience, skills that somebody else has can be utilized with some experience, knowledge, wisdom, and skills that you have to build something. So you guys get very realistic about relationship activity, and on top of that, you guys can separate the emotion from making realistic decisions, practical decisions. Appreciate the super chat, Rainbow Goddess 82, in order to support the relationship. It's just that you guys had that Pluto and Mars on top of each other, and that can create a lot of intensity. I'm pretty sure you guys was born in the same year, because it's one thing that if you guys both have Saturn and Pluto and Libra, you guys, there could have been like a good 3 to like 5 year span that you guys may have been born apart. But the fact that you guys both have Mars in there at the same time, I'm pretty sure y'all was born in the same year. So that's what a lot of it had to do with that. You guys trying to force each other's relationship ideals on each other. Then y'all got Saturn in Libra, so sometimes y'all detach from each other. But when y'all detach from each other, y'all built up so much goddamn passion and intimacy. Oh my God, Mars and Libra. If you don't want to, if you don't see yourself building something with this person in the future, don't have sex with them. Because Mars and Libra will have you thinking about them 24/7. It's too much intensity. So when y'all do detach from each other, when y'all use y'all Saturn and Libra gifts to detach from something that you don't feel like is a realistic thing, you still had all that intense passion that you got to give time to settle down. But that's the hardest thing in the world. Having an intense, passionate, intimate connection with somebody and having to go cold turkey from it is no difference from getting off of a drug that makes you feel super blissful, super pleasurable. It's no difference from getting off of a substance, or it's the same thing. When you manifest that form of intimacy and passion with somebody, when you try to detach from it, you feel that shit. You feel it. You want to touch that motherfucker after a couple of days. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. If the problems come with this shit, the problems come with it. I need an orgasm. And they're the only one that could achieve it. No bullshit. Thanks for answering my question. Yes, same year. Yep. I'm a Gemini moon and he was a Scorpio. Ooh, Gemini Scorpio moon. All right. So that's another thing. Y'all asses started becoming too sneaky with each other. You a Gemini moon, so you was communicating things to him a lot of the time just to see how he respond to it. It wasn't really how you really felt. You was just throwing things in the air, seeing how he responds just to get a grasp on what was really on his mind. Then he was a Scorpio moon, so sometimes he threw you energies to make it look like this was his surface level presentation about something, but he had a whole self agenda to it. Oh man, a whole bunch of mind games and things going on over there. Oh my God. And then on top of that, he's a Mars in Libra, and it was hitting your Gemini moon. So his Mars is trining your moon. So he brought a lot of intensity and it made you feel emotionally comfortable at times. You felt like this type of passion and intensity is all I need to feel stable and comfortable. Oh my God. I already know. That's all I had to know. All right. So yeah, speak that on that because I had the alignment before with someone. I'm the Scorpio moon, Aries sun, and he's Gemini moon. Yep. You know who's a Scorpio sun, Gemini moon? Future. And what do we call him? We call him the fucking president of toxicity. He's the face of toxic energy. So just take that into just think about that. You put them two energy together in somebody big three. You got somebody that's you got somebody that's you got a motherfucker. You got Scorpio and Gemini in your big three. You got somebody that's intuitive as hell, but then they smart as hell. And then because Scorpio is deal with hidden energy and because Gemini deals with flexible communication, they throw so many communication styles at you, you don't never fucking know what their intention is. You don't never know what their intention is out this motherfucker. Oh my God. All right, so let's get back to the Synastry. So then, boom, we got that. Then we got Chrisean has a Mars in Aries, right? Back to her Mars in Aries, and Blueface has a Mars in Libra. So there we go. What was the first thing I said, guys? What was the first thing I said in the first thing I said with the toxic alignments? If you have Mars, Pluto, or Uranus squaring or opposing each other, you can flip it however way you want. Mars opposite Pluto, Pluto square Uranus, Uranus square Mars. It don't matter how you flip it. She got Mars in Aries, he got Mars in Libra. And this energy can create codependence. This energy can create codependence. Why? Because you got Chrisean Rock that's passionate about her personal ideals, Mars and Aries, hard to compromise. She's passionate about her own intentions, and she has an aggressive approach towards these things. Not that it's not just she's not like me. I'm a Mars and Scorpio, so yeah, I got passionate ass intentions about shit. But shit, I'm a little bit more hidden with my shit. I don't expose them like that. She got Mars and Aries. Aries don't give a fuck about staying hidden with that shit. Mars and Aries is gonna express that shit. They're gonna have their actions. They may want to be hidden. They may have an intention to be hidden, but it's still fire. So their actions is still gonna show their intentions. It's still gonna show that aggressiveness. Blueface has a Mars and Libra. Now, what happens with Mars and Libra individuals a lot of the time Mars and Libras usually fall into two different spectrums. You got Mars and Libra people that are very aggressive and self-intentional when it comes into relationships, and they lack compromise and negotiation skills. But then you got the Mars and Libra person that's passionate about making the relationship work, that can actually play out into them passionately being passive, if that makes sense. They're so passionate about this union, their relationship, that Blueface, his Mars and Libra ass, y'all may have heard me say this already. Mars and Libra, Mars in the seventh house attracts turbulent relationships, can attract aggressive relationships, and you have to be able to nip these red flags. You have to be able to nip these motherfuckers in the butt if you have these type of placements. If you got Mars, Pluto in the seventh house, you part of the Mars, Pluto, and Libra generation. The moment you start seeing these aggressive red flags, these possessive power and controlling red flags, you got to nip that shit in the bud. All right. Either check your partner about this shit, let them know that you're not going to tolerate it, or you just detach. Don't even give them time for that shit to expand. But she got Mars in Aries. So she be bullying his Mars, and their Mars alone is just, their Mars just be clashing overall. And once again, this creates high levels of intimacy. All right. You're not going to break down a toxic relationship and not see the alignments that show this high level of sexual attraction. Mars opposing Mars, strong sexual attraction. And then look at the signs that they're opposing each other from. Aries and Libra, these are very sexual signs. Aries is Mars energy. Pluto's exalted in Mars. Deals with your passion, the root chakra. So very Aries people are very sexual individuals. Libras, I already told you, Libras be motherfucking, they always thinking about relating to another person, touching another person, connecting with another person. So it creates, this is all type of codependent energies, and they have too much sexual motherfucking attached energy. Blueface could say all that shit he's saying right now, but that's not my baby. I ain't fucking with her no more. I bet you they fucking right now. I bet you they fucking right. They fucked today, probably 2 times already. All right. So that energy is strong. And then if we dive a little bit deeper, check this out, guys. When we look at Blueface's Mars, when we look at his Mars in Libra, which he has an early Mars in Libra is 4 degrees, so he has a baby Mars in Libra, so he can be very impulsive and rash when it comes into relationship decisions. But what's right next to his Mars in Libra? North Node in Libra. When it comes into the North Node, when it comes to anything, any planet that's conjunct your North Node is something that you're going to be nervous, hesitant dealing with. You could be passive dealing with this energy. You can run from this motherfucking energy, and it's part of your spiritual path to deal with it. Best believe Chrisean Rock is part of this nigga's spiritual development. Because when you have Mars in Libra, when you have the North Node in Libra, a lot of your spiritual development in this lifetime is learning how to detach a little bit from your South Node in Aries, understanding this lifetime is not all about you. You have to learn to deal with cooperation. You got to learn how to deal with partnerships. You're going to have to learn to have patience dealing with other people. Because when you got the North Node in Libra with that South Node in Aries, you come from a lifetime where you accomplished so much on your own. You come from lifetimes and past life experiences where I'm a South Node in Aries. I built my family on my own, or I built career on my own. I persevered through dark times on my own. So these people have a high level of self-confidence to the point when they have to deal with other people, when they have to deal with other partnerships, sometimes they could feel like these people are they're slowing them up. North Node and Libras can feel like this a lot of the times, like, yo, I'd rather just do this shit on my own, even though I see the potential in us sharing resources or this partnership. I really feel like I could just get this done in my own time. So this is what North Node and Libra people deal with. But like I said, guys, the North Node is not something that you just walk outside and you just motherfucking the North Node is not just something that you walk outside and you say, you know what, today I'm gonna work on my North Node in Libra. I'm gonna be more relatable. No, the North Node is something that attracts situations. It attracts situations for you to have to deal with it. So with his North Node in Libra, but then he got Mars in Libra, a lot of Blueface spiritual development in this lifetime is learning how to deal with turbulent relationship circumstances, learning how to wisely navigate situations where he's getting taken advantage of in relationships, learning how to deal with a certain level of intensity and his anger management and his emotions in relationships, and most importantly, learning how to be intentional with his relationships. So you can see with Chrisean's Mars in Aries opposite to that, Moon in Cancer squaring his Libra energies, you can already see how much she triggers this spiritual development for him. She's triggering that shit all the way. All the way. So that's something to keep an eye out on there right there. Now, next we have Chrisean Saturn trines Blueface Venus. So Blueface got this Venus in Capricorn. Chrisean got Saturn in Taurus. This has a lot to do with why they've been able to profit off of their relationship. Whether it's Blueface streams going up, right? Whether it's Blueface streams on his music going up, whether it's their reality TV show gaining the views it's gaining, whether it's Chrisean's rock status growing because of her relationship with Blueface. Blueface got Venus in Capricorn. Venus deals with supporting, right? It's an earth. So he's invested into anything that helps support or builds his status or deals with stability and helps him navigate his career path. If anything, he builds more of a soft spot for people that help him navigate his career path. She got motherfucking Saturn in Taurus. So in this lifetime, we know Saturn is karmic, right, guys? So when it comes to your Saturn placement, the sign that Saturn. Also, I'm about to make a video for Saturn in Aquarius generation and Saturn in Pisces generation. These are the two Saturn placements that need to understand the shifts taking place this year. Saturn in Aquarius generation, you need to understand, even though Saturn return is ending for you guys in a couple of months, you need to understand the responsibility that comes with this new awareness that you have with what you've been experiencing this past 3 years. And then I want to talk about what the Saturn and Pisces generation needs to get ready for. All right. As far as what the collective needs to take from the Saturn and Aquarius transit and what we need to prepare for with Saturn and Pisces. So I see people keep leaving comments like, Boro, you going to talk about Saturn and Pisces? Of hell, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that shit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. That's one of the most important transits of the year. Saturn entering Pisces, Jupiter entering Taurus, and Pluto, dibbling and dabbling in Aquarius. Those are the three most important transits of the year. I cannot not talk about them shits. But I want to make a specific. I want to send a specific messages to both of these generations. All right. Because Saturn and Aquarius generation, I know we joke about like, oh shit, our Saturn return is ending this year. We're turning 30, this, that, and the third. We out of this motherfucker. But don't think like it's not. You learned, you was going through your trials and tribulations these past 3 years. It comes with you having to apply yourself. Go ask your siblings, your friends, your parents, or whatnot, how life was for them when they was 30, when they was 31. Go ask them. Go ask them what responsibility they had to deal with, how they had to apply themselves. Go ask anybody that's in their 30s already what the shift from 29 to 30 to 31 was like. It doesn't mean it was all sweet because you have to be in application mode. All right. You didn't go through all these trials and tribulations for no reason. So once you get out of this transit, now you're in a space where you have to understand, you have to make sure your actions and the way you deal with discipline, stability, applying yourself in reality reflects the things you've been learning, or that makes your reality even more harsh and it's going to feel like you're still in the Saturn return. Velanita, my dad lost his vision at 30 with his Saturn in the 6th. Wow. That's crazy. I'm sure he's spiritually strong to be able to understand how to adapt to the physical realm. I'm sure he's been able to, you know, navigate it. But we get stripped of certain things at the end of that Saturn return and during the Saturn return. So I'm gonna have a video for that when we get there. But Venus harmonizing with Saturn, this is a positive placement. You have the Venus person that's naturally invested in building up the Saturn person. Then you got the Saturn person that can add reality to how the Venus person even deals with love, their emotions, their value system. The Saturn person can be in a space where they can tell the Venus person, like, yo, you would be farther off with your business, this, that, and the third, if you wasn't valuing these negative people, places, and things. You need to detach these things, restrict these things. So this is a trine, but guess what? It creates codependence. Chrisean Rock, nobody knew who the fuck Chrisean Rock was before she started dating Blueface. Saturn correlates to that Capricorn Aquarius energy. Saturn deals with status as well. Saturn deals with status in business and how you broadcast yourself as well. Because of Blueface's love language, his Venus in Capricorn, his love language and his value for what he's building in his life, the status he already had, you can see how he took some Venus and Capricorn energy and she's benefited off of it with her Saturn in Taurus. She's been able to build a status of her own now. She could stop fucking with Blueface today. She's gonna be able to do sponsorships. She could make a YouTube. Is gonna be get subscribers. She could develop a brand. So it creates a codependence, and it's funny because they've had interviews this and the third where like she said like like I remember when they got into like one of their first exposed altercations, the first ones we seen on camera, and she was and they made a video and Blueface is in the house and he's like, yo, how do I get out of this relationship? Like they're on live or some shit. They made a video like talking to the camera, like how I get out, and she's like, I ain't going nowhere. This is my house, this and the third. She likes feeling how stable her life is more that this nigga got resources that can help her out. But this alignment has a whole lot to do with, once again, why they're able to profit. You know, you got this type of alignment. Somebody comes to me, does Synastry. I'm gonna tell them straight up, like, I don't know if you guys had any type of calling or type of feeling influence to want to do business with each other, structure things with each other, but y'all got all the potential in the world to create stability with each other with these type of energies. You feel me? All the potential in the world. So, you know, if they weren't so fucking toxic, if they weren't so toxic and they were more stable, they would probably be able to make this powerful ass alignment work in their favor even more. But because trines are the most powerful alignments in the zodiac, because these represent strong powers and gifts, it still plays out as a power even though they're negative. So toxic relationship, but it created a reality show that's most likely bringing in some income, that's most likely expanding their status. It's a gift. It's still a gift. It's still a power. It still plays out subconsciously. But if they were more so on the same page and wasn't so fucking toxic, they probably could have a relationship podcast. They probably could be doing a whole bunch of things to grow each other's status and be, oh my God, I want the Blueface and Chrisean Rock type of relationship. But, you know, it's just to show an example of how it creates codependence, but also showing you how that trine is that power is still going to play out, even if there's negative energies in the mix. Is that powerful? All right. So we got that. Now, what else I got on the list? Chrisean Rock's sun conjuncts Blueface Saturn, supported stability. So these are two back-to-back alignments. Chrisean Rock in Pisces, Blueface Saturn in Aries, but it's on the cusp. So her sun is 24 degrees. His Saturn is 2 degrees Aries. So they're making contact with each other. So in some type of shape or form, so Chrisean's delusional actions in Pisces, right? Her delusional ways, her impulsive ways of expressing herself, expressing how she feels, because that's what the sun and water gonna do, right? They're gonna express how the fuck they feel, especially if there's a Cancer moon behind it, especially if there's a Mars in Aries there. Some water signs can be introverted, but good luck having to be introverted with a Mars in Aries and a Cancer moon. It's too much to hold inside. So if the sun is in Pisces, they're gonna feel like it's mutable water. So they're gonna feel like what I express is gonna come off relatable anyways. But Blueface got this Saturn in motherfucking Aries, you know. So at the same time, this is another alignment. They got Venus trine Saturn, Sun conjunct Saturn. So the Sun person can give some awareness, or the way they express themselves helps the Saturn person to gain more stability. And the way the Saturn person, how they structure things, how they stabilize things in some type of shape or form, can help the Sun person be seen or get more stable. So these two alignments kind of reflect each other in similar ways. Like I said, they have so much potential. Is almost like a reality TV show is just waiting for them. Like it was just waiting for them to happen. You know, all different type of advertisements, sponsorships could flow through them. You know, if they were able to get their shit together, they have so much business potential together. So that goes all the way back to Martian Empress saying that let me I don't want to quote it wrong, but that goes all the way back to Martian Empress saying, okay, I can't find the comment, but she was basically saying that one of them, or they already expressed that they're a business couple or some shit like that. Yeah, you guys have some strong ass business alignments. There's some couples out there is like, no, you niggas shouldn't do business with each other. You should have your separate shit. Their shit is a little different, but their emotional intensity and what they're here to teach each other spiritually doesn't really, sometimes is going to get in the way of what they're building with each other from a business perspective. All right. But one another thing about this alignment though, Chrisean is the sun person. Like I said, this is a conjunction. So conjunctions, two planets sharing the same space, is supposed to come off as a super team, but sometimes the motherfuckers could feel like, motherfucker, back up. I need some space. You all up in my space. We know these planets are enemies. The sun and Saturn, they're enemies. They don't fuck with each other. The sun deals with light, being seen, expression, attention. Saturn don't care about none of that. Saturn deals with stability, restriction, limitation, boundaries, reality. So when you have Saturn, Blueface's Saturn, this is a huge reason why Chrisean, this is a huge reason why during these interviews at times Chrisean lashes out the way she does. It's not just because of her Mars and Aries squaring his sun. So sometimes her passion and how she personally feels about things overrides how you express anything. It has a lot to do with this placement because this is her sun. Her sun is in Pisces. It's her expression. But guess what? Blueface got Saturn in Aries. So he has a very personal, he has a very individual way of how he sees reality. So when he's expressing things from his personal input, from his, when he's expressing his personal input about something, right? She may feel like the way he's expressing his reality or how he practically sees something is a restriction to her son. She may feel like how he deals with reality is a restriction to her son. Not knowing at the same time, he may be expressing certain things for her to see reality a bit more, but she got the sun in Pisces. That's not always easy for the sun in Pisces to see motherfucking reality. And then on top of that, he's a Saturn in Aries. That placement alone don't be dealing with reality well neither, because Saturn is debilitated in Aries. Saturn don't like Aries energy neither. All right, Aries is about impulse, go on the go, being on the go, doing things off the, doing things from the spark. Saturn, oh, thank you to Martian Empress. They started as business partners. You feel me? So with his Saturn there, when you a part of the Saturn and Aries generation, a lot of you guys are so fucking creative when it comes into how you, the visions you catch on how you can build stability to stand a third, but you come off a little unrealistic to people because people don't be seeing how your creativity and your visions is gonna map out into reality until you actually get it done. I was just telling somebody I was having a reading with the other day. You shouldn't even be telling nobody your motherfucking dreams and aspirations because they're not gonna respect your shit till the shit is accomplished. All right. So you got Saturn. This should have been a toxic alignment. You know, you got Saturn conjunct the sun. This person's sun person would be feeling restricted around the Saturn person. And you can see how she lashes out with her sun a lot of the times. You know, I was just watching an interview. They just had an interview on No Jumper podcast. The interview was asking Blueface a certain question, and Blueface was really logically, rationally answering the question, and it offended Chrisean so much. It offended Chrisean so much, you know. And I'm like, damn, this nigga can't even like express realistic, practical things without her getting triggered, you know? So maybe because when when he was expressing the reality of the dynamics of their relationship, she started to feel like, yo, this nigga's trying to box me and this nigga trying to restrict me. And he's doing this in front of how much people viewing this shit right now, you know? So it gets deep. It gets deep with that one. The sun and Saturn are enemies. They do not like each other. Okay. Then we got two more alignments we got left. Blueface has Lilith in Leo. Now, this ain't even really a synastry alignment. You got to understand, when you got Lilith in Leo, you're going to experience people trying to make you look bad. Leo deals with too much. We correlate Lilith to just sexual energies when Lilith has way more of a spiritual significance of just sexual energies. If anything, that's just like the aftermath of Leo. If anything, that's just like the aftermath of Lilith energies. But when we talk about sexual urges and everything with Lilith and whatnot, Lilith deals with what the fuck can bring you to the darkest parts of yourself. So the sign Lilith is in is going to show us the energy that dealing with the negative. It deals with the negative side of the energy it's in, and it attracts the negative of the opposite sign. So Blueface is a Lilith in Aries. I mean, excuse me, a Lilith in Leo. When you got Lilith in Leo, you're going to experience somebody trying to embarrass you in front of a lot of people, make you look bad in front of a lot of people, make your reputation look bad in front of a lot of people. You know, you go to a talent show in high school and you about to rap a song and they play another song, or motherfuckers is your bully did some dumb shit, threw a tomato at your dumb ass when you on stage. So Lilith and Leo, Lilith energies will make people really go to the depth of their the darkness in themselves. A lot of the times we experience Lilith energies around the ages 27 to 33. So this will also make Saturn return transits kind of turbulent, because there may be potential for a Lilith moment to happen within your Saturn return. You're already dealing with restructuring your reality, things falling down just to be built back up. But then you experiencing a Lilith moment. Let's say your Lilith moment comes between 27 and 30. That makes it even crazier. So when you got Lilith in Leo, you're going to experience this. You're going to experience this, in some type of way, whether it's through social media, whether it's on a motherfucking talent show, whether somebody try to make you look crazy at this big ass group presentation in the workplace, whatever it is. Somebody exposed a sex tape of you. Somebody now you about to go kill them, put a hit on them. Lilith moments can make us do a lot of impulsive things that can cause long-term consequences. So a lot of people are in jail because they had impulsive reactions to how they were dealing with their Lilith moments in their life. All right. So we got to do a live stream on Lilith. We have to do that. We have to do that soon. But the Blueface, we could we could see that nigga dealing with like, holy moly, his reputation has taken a hit for this relationship. And I hope he doesn't do nothing more extreme than he already have done. Putting his hands on her and having physical altercations with a woman that's already extreme. One of the videos that leaked of them having a physical altercation, one of the first ones when there was a physical altercation outside, the way he swung on her, because sometimes niggas be doing bullshit ass swings with their girls to just scare their ass and miss on purpose. But one of the swings that he tried to hit her with, and if he would have connected, I was thinking about this. I'm like, yo, he would be dead. He would be over. His whole shit would be fucked up if he would have landed that motherfucker on her ass and knocked her the fuck out on camera. He probably did. The fact that he swung like that can show you what's probably going on behind closed doors. We're probably just seeing a small percentage of what the fuck they have going on behind closed doors. But I'm looking at the way he swung on her. I'm like, coming from a nigga that been in physical altercations with a woman, I've never tried to hit her. I was always in restraint mode because I understand myself as a man. I'm stronger than you. If I wanted to, I could just put you out. Well, I'm not going to do that. Like, you're a whole woman. You're a whole female. I don't know what I look like swinging on you like a nigga. Like, you feel me? That nigga was trying to swing on her like a nigga. And I'm like, nah, no way. No way. AKA Leo and Lilith, you making me look fucking bad out here will take me to some dark ass places. So this is why that nigga may be looking like he's in a dark ass space dealing with her ass, because she triggered his Lilith. He's constantly in a bad light ever since he's been fucking with her. He looks so stressed and drained. Man, the real honey. Facts. It looked like his spirit is gone. Like I said, the last interview I was watching with him on No Jumper, I'm watching the way she interrupts him. I said, yo, how can you stay in a relationship with your woman interrupting you like this? No respect for your word, bro. You can't even finish a sentence. This is crazy. But that's part of his North Node journey. He got to learn how to deal with that shit. He got to learn not to get that Mars conjunct North Node and Libra. He got to learn how to stand up for him fucking self, not getting taken advantage in relation. Like, all right, another example of his Mars and North Node and Libra. Another example, guys. Do any of y'all remember when Blueface, when he first came out, when Tatiana was hot, back in like whatever, whether it's 2018, 2019. Do y'all remember when Tatiana was hot and he did an interview on Breakfast Club? Do y'all remember Charlemagne interviewing, asking him about his record deal, and he was saying like he don't really know his record deal, that his manager Whack 100 is the one that handles everything. He don't really know. He don't really know what type of record deal he's in. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that? Because Libra rules contracts. Libra rules contracts and agreements. So with his North Node, that's another thing that comes with North. You guys can go Google it. You could go after this. You could go YouTube it, Google it. Google Blueface Breakfast Club record deal. That's just put them words: Blueface Breakfast Club record deal. And there was a clip where Charlemagne was like, "So you don't even know what type of record deal you're in?" He's like, "Nah, not really. I don't know." AKA Mars and Libra. For one, you're getting taken advantage. There's people with self intentions trying to take advantage of things dealing with contracts and agreements, and then your North Node is here. So he's gonna experience this with business relationships and in his intimate relationships. It's part of his spiritual path. He has to learn how to deal with this shit. And then lastly, guys, hold on. Okay, move my mouse, is wet. Um, right, Renaissance of consciousness is taking hostage like he can't go. You know, has a lot to do with this Pluto square Venus alignment. Him thinking he could transform her love language, transform her values, thinking he could help her. But this is situation already has reached multiple extremes. But the last alignment I got with these crazy motherfuckers is Blueface Venus in Capricorn and Chrisean with her Venus in Pisces. Blueface has Venus in Capricorn. All right, dealing with reality. Chrisean got Venus in Pisces, dealing with motherfucking her imagination. I call this shit delusional love turning into reality. Delusional love turning into reality. Oh my god, he only 26. Facts. He his start his Saturn return didn't even start yet. If he goes into the Saturn return dealing with her, his life is gonna change. Remember, I said this. His life is already going through some shit right now. Let him enter the age of 27. Wait, he's an Aquarius, so his birthday so he just turned 27. I mean, he just turned 26 because he's a Capricorn. He's an Aquarius sun. Yeah, 1997. So let him enter his Saturn return still in a relationship with her. It's gonna go out bad. Whether he does something that he regrets, it's gonna be bad. But he got Venus in Capricorn, she got Venus in Pisces. So originally, I mean, Venus, Pisces, and Capricorn harmonize with each other. They sextile each other. But you can see how they're not making a direct alignment because they don't align with degrees. But Blueface looking at love when you got Venus in Capricorn, on top of him having a Mercury and a Capricorn cusp, his Capricorn Aquarius cusp sun. A lot of how he wants to deal with relationships in his life is dealing with reality. Even though he struggles with that at times because he does have a North Node in Libra. He does have a North Node in Libra. So sometimes he can have North Node in Libra, once again, can have bad character, bad judgment of character. But she got Venus in Pisces. So we already know with the Venus and Pisces energy, it could be very delusional. It could live in La La Land. Venus and Pisces, they extremely crave affection and connection. But they can have their ways when they feel like they're building a connection with somebody and that person is disconnecting from it, detaching from it, you're gonna see Venus and Pisces turn up. But with that Capricorn energy dealing with reality and her shit dealing with her imagination, emotions, and delusion, you see the delusion turning into reality. You see how we can easily from the outside look in and see the reality of what they got going on, but within their square, what they got going on, they're creating that delusion Chrisean Rock got with her Venus and Pisces, is trickling in into how he may see his reality. Now he's drifting away from how he sees dealing with reality in his relationships, and they're turning something that's chaotic into reality right now. You know, so I see some of y'all saying Blueface deserve better. They both deserve better. Mike Anna says she needs to be with a Gemini. No, she need to be with a therapist. She need counseling. She has extreme. I don't even need to know her relationship with her parents. I already know there's some type of disconnect with her parents, because there's no way that a woman values a man. There's no way that a woman values when a woman has a healthy relationship with her father. You see the respect she's gonna have with the men that she picks and how she interacts with that man. Point blank. Period. And then I already told y'all with that moon in Cancer and that Mars in Aries, that's extreme anger management issues. She has a lot of anger within herself. She has a lot of anger within herself. This is also why she was real competitive. You seen that she ran track or did gymnastics, whatever she did. All that Mars energy, all that Cancer energy. You got the moon in Cancer, you got the Mars in Aries. That may have been some of her happiest times in her life because she was able to utilize that form of competitiveness as an outlet. You know, so I don't know what she's using as an outlet now to release that type of energy. All right. I haven't seen the reality show yet. So okay, the real honey said her dad was weird. So look, that's already telling you she probably has a fucked up relationship with that nigga. Probably don't respect that nigga, and it shows with the respect that she has for Blueface, you know. This is the same thing with a guy. This is the same thing with a guy that, let's say a guy grew up and his mother, he saw his mother do drugs. He saw his mother have lack of respect for himself. What you think? What type of respect he about to have for women? What type of respect you think he's gonna have for women? I know exactly how the examples of my mother plays out into the women I deal with. You know, so it's like I used to think, well, when I was a little bit more immature, I used to think that my relationship life didn't reflect my it was a point when I was getting into natal charts and whatnot. At the time, I was really studying the psychology of relationships. So I used to watch like a lot of videos breaking down the psychology of relationships, a lot of Dr. Umar videos breaking down the psychology of the black family and relationships. And I used to be like, yeah, I don't really feel like my relationship with my parents trickles into my relationships. You don't think that until you finally fall in love with somebody. You don't think that until you get into a real karmic situation, because it takes these relationships for these things to come out. Your true triggers and all that don't come out with a friend with benefit. Your true triggers don't come out with somebody you just fucking. It comes out with somebody that you're emotionally invested into, and you don't know how to navigate the situation because you've never been emotionally connected to somebody like this. You feel me? So I'm a whole cap moon, y'all. So I could talk about all the fucking shit that I've dealt with in my life. But my mother, she's an example to me of what a traditional, wholesome, loyal, honest, submissive, feminine woman looks like. So I can't allow I can't deal with a woman that's not that. I can't deal with a woman that's not feminine and understanding and catering to my, I saw my mom was like that with my father, and then my mom is remarried now, and I see how feminine and submissive she is to that nigga. So I can't. So that trickles into the type of women that I choose and pick. So we have to be real conscious. The fourth house squares the seventh house, family. The fourth house squares the seventh house. All right. So we all have to learn how to take what we experience with our relationship with our parents and the home environment and our upbringing, and understand how that plays a part in our seventh house, in our one-on-one relationships and our one-on-one connections. It don't matter what your ascendant sign is. This is what we're all learning to do. All right. We got to learn to take these positive examples and bring them into the families of our own, relationships of our own, and we got to learn how to transmute the negativity that we've experienced, right? And this is why our soulmates, our twin flames, are so important, because sometimes we may not be able to see these things until we meet these type of people, until we meet a soulmate, until we meet a twin flame, you know. until we get into a karmic situation and we have our partner telling us this the way you fucking act like this, the way you want me to do everything for you all the fucking time is because you such a fucking mama's boy. You ain't get that love from your fucking mom. You like, oh shit. Oh shit, how the fuck somebody that I'm just fucking on, how the fuck is somebody I'm just having friends with benefits able to tell me that? We didn't reach that type of depth of intimacy. This is all surface level mundane shit. We just using each other's flesh. We not connecting the heart chakra. We not dealing with true subconscious and true deep connection. You feel me? So this is what I tell y'all all the time, guys. You got to be able to get out the most craziest, I don't want to say craziest, but the most significant relationships, long-term relationships in your life, karmic relationships or whatnot, guys, you got to be able to get out these relationships and see how you can put blame on yourself. See how you can even if you felt like you was dating the toxic person and they just took advantage of you, there's still blame to put on yourself. You allowed yourself to stay in there. Now, why did you? What's the psychology to that? Were you taking advantage in the home? Did you see your mom get taken advantage of and you feel like you got to put up with that? Whatever it is, you got to get out your relationships and see what the lesson to it was, because we don't attract the people we attract for no reason. We just don't, guys. Every interaction you have is divine. And I think sometimes we feel like the only things that matter is these quote unquote soulmate twin flame. No, every interaction you have in this, in you, every conversation you have with somebody is a divine thing. Some of you guys went and walks in the park, went grocery shopping, had a little conversation with a old lady in the supermarket, and she said something to you, and it stuck with you. That person was meant to tell you that shit, whatever the fuck it was. All right, ain't nothing by mistake in this motherfucker. Everything is divinely orchestrated, family. So tonight was a great build with you guys. All right. Venus is in Pisces, y'all. So let's embrace the love. Let's embrace the positivity, the positive potential of what we got going on with either our creative gifts, our spiritual development. All right. Let's get closer to pouring into our spiritual development with this alignment. Let's not make it all about love and intimacy. Pisces is one of the most spiritually inclined signs in the zodiac. So right now we got to develop more of a. We're gonna talk about this tomorrow. I'm getting into Venus. We're gonna have the Venus in Pisces live stream tomorrow. All right. I just really wanted to cover this topic today. All right. It's just really on my spirit. All right. Hopefully God relieves me of my toxic my toxic debts from doing this live stream. All right. All the things I did in the past, God, that was toxic. You see how I'm using what I went through to help the collective right now. Am I good now? Is the blood off my hands now? I didn't mean to throw her weave out the window, Lord. I didn't mean to text all the niggas in her phone. All right. I didn't mean to slap that nigga that I thought she was fucking with, but that was really just a librarian nigga that she was cool with, Lord. Okay, guys. All right. So we're going to get into that Venus and Pisces energies tomorrow. All right. Let's continue to complete this first week of Aquarius season on a positive note, family. I got some readings that I got to make sure I take care of getting into tomorrow. All right, family. Y'all go ahead and get some rest. I love y'all. Dope live, dope build. And I definitely want some feedback from you guys. If you go back, when are you planning to do readings of people charts on live? Because I low-key want a Synastry reading. I'm waiting for whoever, I keep seeing comments of it, but I'm waiting for somebody to leave the email like, I'm waiting for somebody to email me and be like, hey, bro, that was me saying I want my chart read on live. Mars Welt this. I even know you was in the building. Mars Welt this. All right. So yeah. Once that person lets me know, like, hey, Boro, I booked the reading. I'm the one that want to get read on live. Listen, we're gonna set it up. We're gonna set it up. All right. I've been wanting to do this for the longest, but it's the idea I slept on. So the fact that somebody brought that up, I'm like, okay, that's fine. People are willing to do that. I thought that was gonna be something that it was gonna be real vulnerable for me to explain. Like, would you like me to do your reading on live and shit? And the funny thing about it is, when I do my readings, when I do pre-recorded readings, I upload them on a YouTube page, but it's unlisted, it's private. So I just upload them and send you the link. So it's funny how I did a reading a few ago and I sent the link, and then it was and then homie hit me up like, yo, bro, my shit on YouTube, bro. I'm like, no. It's private. Like, this is just a YouTube link to stand. He's like, all right, my bad. And it's funny because it was a deep ass dive in that motherfucker. You feel me? So I'd never. All right. But love y'all, family. I love y'all. All right. Hope everybody has a beautiful, fruitful Venus day. We're gonna talk about Venus and Pisces on a Venus day. This is the best day to do it. All right, family. Peace.